Okay, I guess we're live. Hi everyone, this is Hollow Hangout. It's been a while. I guess we are, what, 5 weeks from the season 3 finale, From Hell. I think is putting it mildly. My name is Chrissy. I am your host tonight. We've got some special guests. Okay, first from Spot On Magazine, Christine. Hi, Christine.
Hey, honey girl, how are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Good.
Michelle.
No.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm
Birthday
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, happy birthday. This is our birthday girl. She's had nothing but grief
Yay.
on her birthday. I don't know. Poor thing.
and I spent yesterday with my family, so it
Oh,
can't
Lord.
catch
And Sarah. Hi, Sarah. How are
Hi.
you?
Hey, Sarah.
And we've got Ashley tonight. Hi, Ashley. I don't know. Her picture just faded away. I don't know. And Alicia. Hi, Alicia. How are you?
Lisa.
Good.
Good. Are you awake?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to talk to Alicia because Alicia, if they just listen to us with your theory, one of y'all theory about Abbie, about Sophie with the parents.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
we
that
wouldn't be in
was
this mess
Alicia.
now. Wow. Go ahead, Chrissy. I'm sorry. Go ahead with your jokes.
No, it's okay.
Yes.
She's got her wine down. She's doing good. Okay, so
Hello.
couple of things I wanted to say. I mean, obviously, it's taken me quite a while to.
Hi.
Oh, hello. Well, that's weird. All of a sudden, something happened.
She probably
Anyway.
got dropped. She might be back on it.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't all drop. Yeah, I'll be dropped too, and everybody else will be too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Google Hangout.
Google Hangout, right? I was thinking I should have used that one program we tried.
Yeah, but you know what?
Christine.
I tried it again, and when everybody else hung out, it was such a vocal delay. It was horrible.
Oh, well then that's not going to work
But
either. All right, so
Mm.
everybody, okay, so obviously it's been 5
Robert's
weeks.
coming on.
What?
What?
Oh
Roberto Orsi.
No way.
He just said that he's checking it out right now.
Well, he's probably watching it.
Robert?
Yeah.
He's probably watching it. He doesn't
Robert
have
who?
Roberto Orsi, the executive producer. He's probably
Hello,
listening.
Mr. Orsi, if you're watching.
Yes, and Aaron might be watching. Hi, Aaron. We love you, even though
Orsi.
you've been MIA. Anyway,
Hey, let's do this. That's
all right,
I
let's,
have to
all
put
right,
my
everybody.
light on now.
All right. Okay, so basically, you know, we are 5 weeks out from the season 3 finale, which everybody across the board, all the critics, New York Times, I mean, everybody
The
just thought
Daily
was a
News.
hot mess. And honestly, I mean, and you guys know that I love this show. You know
And
me.
as well as we did too.
Yes, but WTF. I mean, I need to say that because what really needed to happen, it needed to be a 2-hour special because there was not enough time allocated for the demise. I mean, they could have like drawn out the demise. I mean, the hidden one thing and then Pandora randomly in the thing and whatever. And they should have done what other shows, and I'm going to mention the originals. They had Camille, who is a sort of I mean, she's been sort of a love interest for Klaus, Joseph Morgan's Klaus, on and off. I mean, they weren't like whatever, but the way that they made her exit, it was a beautiful exit. It honored what they had, and I don't understand why it was just so shitty on the Ichabod and Abbie part. I mean, it was. They just
It was
didn't do
shitty.
it. They didn't do it right. And the thing is yes, I am
For plenty of reasons.
I am an Ichabod fan. Everybody knows that. And regardless of whether or not that they were going to end up together, obviously, you know, not. But there were certain things that they could have done to make it to honor who Abbie Mills was to the show and who
Correct.
Nikki was to the fans and to the fans. Um,
I
you
agree.
know, and so that's what I say about that. I mean, I am intrigued about the last 2 minutes. I'm anxious to see what this season 4 is going to look like. I still don't understand how you can I mean, this whole Eternal Soul stuff. Honestly, Roberto, if you're listening, I just don't understand how in the hell that's going to work. I mean, you
If
know,
he pops up on here, I give up.
no, but
Who's that?
I mean,
What'd you
you
say?
know, I don't think he will. I didn't give him that. I didn't give him
He
that
ain't
one.
gonna be on
I
here.
gave him the call link, and he said he's gonna try it.
Oh my
Well, he
god.
should try right now. Go DM him right now, because, you know.
I mean,
We'll be on here for a while.
Go
Yeah,
up,
right.
Roberto. Let's see.
he's probably like, oh Lord, I don't want to step in this. No, but I mean,
He's gonna
If
be
he
like,
does
I'm
it,
in the
that would be
landmine.
like some good balls right there. That's cool.
I know. So, you know, I just honestly, and okay, and then I wanted to discuss Rhonda. I don't know if she's going to come on. Rhonda did a fabulous article that articulated everything that I think a lot of the fans thought. And it has to do with the fact that Abbie was, yes, she was the second witness. She was African American, which I think was a huge step in the for a show like Sleepy Hollow on a major network like that. And I just feel like, you know, it's just it's a travesty of injustice on many levels. And no matter, you know, if Roberto is in charge, I just don't see how they could possibly, salvage this without at some point bringing Nikki Bahari back. Because in the end, if this is the series, if it's going to end after season 4 for a series finale, you need to have Ichabod and Abbie standing at the end of this. You can't have some fill-in for that. It's just not going to fly.
Work.
So, I mean, the state of the fandom at this point is we are all fractured. There are some fans that are never going to come back. They've just given up completely. There are some fans that, like me, I mean, I'm in it till the end. Because there are other things about the show that I like, which, you know, I love the American history, and I love how it's tied to the Revolutionary War and the birth of our country, and things like that. And that was one of the other reasons that it kind of intrigued me. But it also intrigued me about the apocalypse. I mean, that was the cool thing. That very first season with the 4 horsemen, you know, the apocalypse.
Fabulous.
And yeah, and you know, and I loved all of that. And that was, you know, and so, you know, it's really sad. It's been sad to be on Twitter. I had surgery, I guess it was, like a month, 5 weeks ago. Sorry, my leg. And so I'm just now the last 3 weeks really being able to process everything. And anyway, so that's sort of where I'm at right now. Christine, do you want to talk a little bit about what you were saying before we went on air?
I can't remember. But anyway, it was there's so many things. I mean, all right. Okay. I was not, and I'm going to be very honest, I was not like a huge shipper. I was like just looking for great stories, which came from S1. When you look at season 1, you go, oh my God, it was like the best show ever. But here's what happened, which infuriated everybody on Earth, including myself. I started to believe. And I started to believe because it was like, oh my God, those two are finally getting together. I can't believe they're using a tag on their social media. They're doing all these wonderful things. And I can't believe it. I'm seeing all these images and all these things. They're going to get together. They're going to kiss. This is going to be the greatest thing. And all of us were freaking out. And they baited and teased us. And whether they want to admit it or not, that is the reality. That is the damn reality. And that is why a lot of us are pissed off today. You know, I mean, I can go through the whole Abbie thing and let everybody have their turn. But that is one thing, if you're going to start, that's where I go. You teased me.
Yeah.
You pissed me off. You made me sad. You blew it. And then she died. And and that was, you know, that's just number 1 for me. And I have more, but I'll let everybody speak. So go ahead.
Okay. Michelle, I mean, and I will say this, I mean, I did feel, used in a way. I mean, and not only that, I mean, the Sleepy Hollow Twitter account was using Ickaby, our Ickaby hashtag, and it was just, and you know, it's so funny because I defended the writers this whole season. You guys, because everybody's like, oh, they're just, you know, baiting us, they're using Ickaby bait, blah, 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 and I'm like, I just don't think that they're consciously doing that. But now, after the season finale, I definitely think they did for this episode. I mean, because, oh my god, I was just devastated. Yeah. Okay, Michelle, what are you...
Well, first of all, overall, season 3, you know, I was a big fan of the Kindred.
Yes,
Big fan.
I loved it.
I love Headless, and a really big fan of Abbie. So,
Yeah.
season overall kind of pissed me off, you know.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I love Abbie. In the way they could have wrote her off to where, like, she was either in dream state or she was just, you know, somewhere where eventually they can go back and get her if she wanted to come back. You know, something like that. But they didn't write the ending that way. And also, with Headless, they made him completely weak from the very, very beginning.
Oh,
Everybody wanted the Kindred to come back. Everybody.
Right. I know.
Question: what happened to the Kindred ever since season 2? Ever since he popped up, that was one of my favorite episodes from season 2. Was the Kindred?
Right.
When he came back, they killed him.
I know.
and randomly, too.
That was really cool.
Awful.
Is that they used Ickaby against us.
Well, yeah.
They knew we wanted. So they would like do certain things to where you would think it's gonna happen, and at the last minute they ripped it.
Oh yeah. Well, look at Incident at Stone Manor. I mean, when he got it back and they were holding hands, and I thought for sure he was gonna say something. And Raven Metzner wrote that episode too, and didn't give us what we wanted. Which, okay, you know, it's not even that. It's the manner in which that she was written off. You know, it should have been some massive heroic moment, not getting sucked into the freaking box. I mean, it should have been something that was so unexpected and whatever. And all I needed, really, seriously, all I needed was for him to say, you know, when she went to go to the box and he says, Abbie, no. And then all he needed to say was, I love you. That's all I needed. She goes into the box. At least we have that, you know, but we didn't even get that. And it's so, and everybody and their dog could see it. That was the other thing. Everybody else said it except for him. I don't know.
Christy, I gotta tell you though, I mean, with all due respect, I think I needed even more than a kiss from them. I think that I needed better writing. You know, I think that it came down to a point where, you know, even the hidden one and Pandora, I'll be honest, in my opinion, I mean, it's everybody's opinion is subjective.
Right,
you know, but
right.
I thought at the beginning when they had her in the bar with Abbie, kind of, you know, it was brushes against each other were actually really, really good. You know, and I thought that, you know, she was, you know, flamboyant. She was interesting. I mean, don't forget, like, they had, you know, some pretty good episodes with her. And even with the hidden one, they had an idea that could have worked. And it just got kind of lame. Even his death was lame. Everything, in my opinion, sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It just got
I know.
I get she's kind of, you know, one side Jenny is blowing the guy's head off, and then the other side she's visiting Joe's grave. With all due respect, I like Joe. Nothing to do with that, but that's your sister. You know, it was just very sloppy in my eyes.
It was. I mean, you know, and I'm gonna talk about. There was a Tumblr actually. Somebody posted on the Tumblr earlier today. Let me see if I can pull it up. Of course, now I probably won't be able to see it. But basically, I mean, that's what we all were. That's what we were all saying. It was so done shoddy. Not only that, but the other thing that irritated me was that the wrong name. They didn't even put her full name on the headstone.
Her full name on it. Yeah.
It's Grace Abigail Mills. That's what her name is, and they didn't even put that right on the tombstone. And I feel like, you know,
Sloppy.
Yeah, and but it's also the implications of, what it could have been, which, it's just, it just makes me so mad. I'm trying to like talk. I wanted, hold on, I just wanted to say, I DM'd Roberto Orsi. He said that he won't be there day to day, but Wiseman and I, Len Wiseman and I, are coming back because our plan for season 4 hit them to pick up the show. Got them to pick up the show, so we'll see what happens. So it was their pitch that saved the show. That's interesting. I
Ask him if Nicole's coming back then.
it, I mean,
What,
honestly,
Alicia?
I was like, well,
What'd you
is
say?
Nicole coming back then?
I don't know.
Listen,
So-
Nicole's gone. She's gone to greener pastures. And
I
she's
know.
much happier.
Because
Yeah.
to, like, save the show, they need Nicole to come back. Like, sorry.
Well, I know. Well, Alicia, what did you think? I mean, we haven't talked to you yet. I got to get to Ashley too. Go ahead.
Oh, just about the, well, as you can see from, my I Am Abbie Mills thing, I'm still upset.
Yeah.
Like, still very upset. And a lot of people are still very, very upset
Oh, yeah.
about what happened. But, like, at this point, I did watch the finale over again. They could have at least had her meet her family at the bar or had her family show up somewhere. Like, so she wasn't alone. She, like, basically left alone.
Well, right. And what I don't understand is how come they I just don't understand how they can justify, this whole, I was just here to help you. And another point, one of the an article on Tumblr mentioned, which I thought was interesting, was that, and it's true, it's like, first of all, Betsy Ross was not a second witness. These other, quote, partners that Ichabod has had,
To help him, yeah.
Yeah, to, quote, help him move along. They weren't witnesses. Abbie was a witness. Betsy Ross was not a witness. Katrina was not a witness. So
True.
I don't understand that whole thing either. That makes no sense to me. I mean...
And then on her headstone, where it said "our
Yeah.
witness" at the bottom, and
Yeah.
I was just like, "Our witness to what?"
Yeah. witness
Because
to what?
like, they just basically killed her. Like,
Witness
You
to
know
what?
something though, and Alicia, I know, and I'm gonna say it one more time. Alicia, we kind of, all of us kind of chat sometimes, and I love. It was a fact, and there was a point of saying, okay, maybe Sophie was the future daughter of Abbie, and Crane, and I loved it. I just thought it was such a
Yeah, I
creative
thought that was
idea,
great.
and I just, whether you believe it or not, or whether it's something that like is a good idea or not, what I think I liked about it was just creative. And even if she saw, like, Grace, or saw somebody from her or
Yeah,
past, or
somebody
just somebody who said, yeah, and you have a daughter, or yeah, just something that was like twisty and cool.
Yeah.
And what,
Yeah.
I'm watching Outlander
Like,
right now.
wouldn't it,
You know what I'm saying? Just something like, even something that twisted it up, it would have been like, wow. And it was just, it fell flat. Sorry, guys.
instead of
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
like, well, you're gonna turn into dust and go into somebody else's body.
Well, that's what I
Right.
don't understand. I don't
Exactly.
understand. I don't get it. I really don't get that whole thing. I mean,
It's stupid.
she's an eternal soul. And this is what I don't understand. Now I can understand she can be born again, which from a baby. But what the hell good does that do? I
That was in
mean,
my theory too, though. That was one of my theories.
Yeah.
oh my God, I don't know. I don't know
It
what
makes
to
no.
Baby on his back.
I know. I don't understand how it can possibly.
Put the baby in there and start running around on missions.
Well, you know what I'm thinking, though? I kind of am thinking, if this season, I mean, I know people might get mad at this because, but season 4, I'm thinking, it's all going to be all about finding the second witness. I mean, that's what it's going to be. So wouldn't it be kind of interesting if it's the series finale? It would have to be like it would have to be Abbie Mills and Ichabod Crane standing in death together. I mean, it would have to be something like that.
He's gotta die.
Coming back.
Yeah,
Abby ain't coming back.
I know. I keep thinking there's a way she's coming back.
I see
Go
her
ahead,
coming
Michelle.
back.
The only way I can see this happening is either Abby comes back, they kill Ichabod, and just reboot the two witnesses as somebody knew.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
Because any actor they pick, or any actress they put beside Tom will get so much backlash.
Well, I know that's the other thing. Like, I feel sorry for whoever's gonna try and come in. You know, I
They're
almost,
gonna get grilled.
well, you know, my thought was, what if it doesn't have to be a man and a woman. What if it's another guy? What if another guy?
He's still gonna get grilled.
But he's
Yeah,
gonna.
he's still
But
getting backlash.
if he's gonna have Abby's like soul in his body, that'd be kind of weird. Well, I know it wouldn't, but
Yeah, it would be
Yeah,
weird.
but that would make sense.
I don't
he's like,
understand.
Jenny, I'm your sister. You're
Right. I don't know. Ashley, what are your thoughts? We haven't talked to you yet.
Well, I'm sorry about earlier.
That's okay.
My laptop was having problems, but I'm on my Kindle, so I can work through my Kindle on here. Yay!
Cool.
And I'm wearing my Sleepy Hollow sweater, which is nice and comfy.
Yeah.
To be honest, you guys, I was not shocked about the season 3 finale because I kind of had a hunch and I knew that Abbie was going to leave and die due to TV Line's blind item. That was mentioned.
Yeah, whatever. Stupid TV line. What does that say? Put it up again.
Because she ain't coming back. She ain't coming
Still
back.
very sad, but I understand the reasoning behind it.
She's done.
I know. It's in my own little fantasies. Okay,
I
go
did
ahead,
like the
Ashley.
way she died,
I apologize.
but
That's okay.
you know, that's the way it was. At least, you know, they did say their goodbyes, and it's just,
And
we did somewhat get that closure, but not really.
yeah.
But like I said, I am earlier, before we went on air, I'm open to a season 4, just for Tom's sake, but if the rumor I heard on TV Line that he's going to the season by episode 3 of season 4, I'm done. That's pretty much it.
I don't think they. This
No,
is the
he's
thing.
going. He's the whole season.
He's gonna be.
I
there
know.
for the-
I know. Tom Bison is the kebab in my eyes.
Oh yeah.
Because
Well-
just hearing his voice reading the Sleepy Hollow legend on Audible just like solidifies him.
I know. You know,
So-
well, in the show, this is the thing. I mean, the show's Sleepy Hollow. You can't have a show without Ichabod Crane. I mean,
And
the problem is.
Chrissy, I want to.
I heard
I
they're
wanna
hiring
point-
Johnny Depp back, and that's what I.
They what?
They're hiring Johnny Depp back.
Oh, Johnny.
Yes! I love Johnny Depp.
Me too.
I do love Johnny Depp.
I don't think he'd be interested. Okay, what were you going to say, Ashley?
Well, I wanted to pinpoint a theory that you had like several Sleepy Hollow hangouts before.
Okay.
That they might be doing like the Antichrist /
Yeah.
maybe something to do with the president. Now since Ichabod is going to Washington D.C., that could probably be another
Well, yeah, this is the
plot
thing.
that they're going to do.
Well, the third tribulation is supposed to be about
Hi,
the
Tina.
Antichrist and the identity of the Antichrist. Hi, Tina. We see you. Welcome.
Hi, Tina.
Sorry, I thought it was 10 o'clock.
It was. We changed it because the girls. I tweeted it out, but you maybe didn't see the tweet. But anyway, yeah. And the thing is I don't think that they were taking him to Washington D.C. I think they were taking him to FBI, Sleepy Hollow FBI headquarters. I mean, you can't take Sleepy Hollow out of Sleepy Hollow. I just don't see how that would. Look at Michelle. Well, they took me out.
They took
Do whatever they want at this point. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Well, Tina, what are you? your thoughts on the finale and season 4? We're just kind of talking about everything.
Well, I'm one of those. I'm not over it. I don't know how people that have gotten over it are over it. I'm definitely not there. So I'm sorry I missed out for whole first half. So I don't know if everybody's on board. Like, hoorah! I'm not.
Yeah, I know you're not.
I there is like this little piece of me that holds out some sliver of, I don't even know, I wouldn't even call it hope at this point because it seems like completely hopeless, but I do have some things that if it happened, of course, I would come back if they fixed what they did to Abbie by diminishing her, taking away her, basically they made her not an equal anymore.
Right.
That's true.
It was a very rare and amazing thing to see on TV, and I loved it. So if they can't, I don't know how they could fix that. I mean, I know how they could. I don't think that they would. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, she's gonna have to go out. Well, and everything that I've been seeing lately, I wouldn't blame her for never wanting to come back. I mean, they're so shady.
Well, what I'm confused about is it's my understanding. I mean, we've been talking about. I'm sure some of the writers might be watching. That,
Oh boy, let's get into that.
Thanks for fitting my campaign gown, guys.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's my understanding. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Whoever on, if you want to, Sleepy Riders on Twitter. They are in LA, and the show is shot in Georgia. It's my understanding that whoever episode it is, they'll fly out to the set when they're filming, and if they need to make changes are made. So what I don't understand is, I guess earlier today, and I you guys just sort of told me, I really didn't look at it, but I guess a couple of the people were talking about Nikki's show, Jacob's Ladder, like
the movie, Jacob's Ladder.
I thought it was a movie.
Some things should never be remade, like Jacob's Ladder, hashtag Jacob's Ladder, or something like that. Of all the hundreds of movies that have been remade and all of the remakes that are coming out recently, they picked that one. And then one of the other writers or producers liked that tweet. And now they're on Twitter saying that it was not intentional, it's Damien Kindler's favorite movie, that's why he mentioned that one. I'm like, have some tact. And nobody believes it. Nobody believes it. Well, the one movie that Nicole Bahari is on is the movie that you're going to single out. Nobody believes it. And so there's, it's ridiculous. How can they not have such little understanding of their fandom? Still.
Right.
Not even just a fandom, but how about a little compassion, just being a human being and understanding? And listen, to be honest, me, you guys at this point, I try to be very fair. I'm a producer. I do local film and I do local television. I understand it, and I'm going to say this. I know that things happen and shit happens. We don't know. I get that, but when you have to look at fans and you look at where we're coming from. We're the consumer. We're the people that buy. We're the one that buy the T-shirts, the Comic-Cons, or whatever you put in front of us. We're excited. DVDs. That's where we come from. So my personal point is respect that. When you respect that, you respect the fandom. So you know what? You might be snarky. You might be pissed. You might be, we don't know who she is. I don't know who she is. I'm sure she's gracious. I assume so. I hope so. And I assume that some of the writers are and some aren't. But the reality is when you get in a situation like this, you have to just be smart. Stay radio silent. Don't worry about it. Shit will pass as a writer, as a producer. But these guys keep stepping in fucking shit. Excuse my mouth, but they keep stepping in shit. I've never seen anything like it. Stop.
Me neither.
It's obnoxious. Stop. And I think that's where we're all coming from.
Right. And it's to the point where it's getting unbelievable. And they will close ranks to protect each other.
Exactly. Right.
Every single time. It doesn't matter. You know, we could say, well, if we say, you know, Metzner wrote this and said this and tweeted that, oh, he's a great guy. Come on, guys. And we're like, we're telling
Who
you what he
cares?
did. We're telling you how
Tina,
to
how
treat
about
the
this? And I'm sorry,
We're quoting
I don't mean to
his
cut
tweet.
you off, but how about this would have been from the writers? You know what? How about this? You know what? We're sorry. We're sorry. We misunderstood. We are sorry that we didn't understand, and maybe when we were excited about writing or whatever, we didn't think about it the way you thought about it. That
Well,
this
that's
would
what it
happen.
is. See, and
Yeah.
But they
that's
didn't
what
get it.
that's what it is. It's that I don't think that they think about any of that when they're writing. I really don't. I don't.
I know
And,
they don't. That's
and
the
I
problem. They need to.
exactly.
Right.
But the question then is, should they care about the fans? And the answer to that is yes, because
Yes.
we're the ones that
They're
are
consumers.
promoting their show. Do you know
They're
how much
consumers.
we've done to promote the show this season? Because they didn't do any
Right,
promotion at all
exactly.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then,
Now
and
it's
then
all about hashtagging and everything, and that's the most important thing. I mean, if you
Right.
want to be trending on Twitter, you got to make sure whether you're getting that voice out there. I mean,
Exactly.
we're doing the hard work to make sure we're getting the viewers, that we're getting the trends out there, and
Especially when Fox didn't.
Right.
exactly.
Well, that's the other thing, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute because honestly, I mean now it makes sense to me as to why they weren't, Tom didn't go to Comic-Con, they weren't at San Diego Comic-Con, now it makes sense to me because they all knew Nikki was leaving, and so. I kind of understand that, and maybe that's why they decided they didn't want to put any money into advertising.
But Chrissy, why didn't they also do one simple thing? I'm sorry to cut you off again, and I apologize. I'm not.
It's
I
okay.
swear to God, I'm not that rude. All right, maybe a little. But yeah, why didn't they just do this? Very simple. If they knew in the second season they didn't put her on a DVD, okay?
Yeah.
She at Comic-Con. I think it was in London or overseas. Okay. So, okay, she wanted to go. I get it. Maybe she's being disrespected. Maybe she's not. Who gives a shit? She wants to get off the show.
Yeah.
So, why don't you do one simple thing and say, it's Nikki Bahari's last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abbie Mills' last season. And by season 3, you start promoting it as her last season. Watch it as her last season. You think we're stupid? Okay, she wants to go. She wants to make movies. She wants to do her thing. Maybe she's not happy. None of our business. Simple as that. Why couldn't they just do that?
Because they were
Right.
afraid the ratings were gonna drop.
But you
Well,
know what?
no, I don't think the ratings
done
would
right,
have dropped.
if it's done right, that's not necessarily going to happen. Because here's the thing: if we believe, it could be total BS, but if we believe it's really what she wants and she's going to be happier and they're going to give us this amazing season, we're all going to watch. Of course, we're all going to be sad, but we're going to feel like at least that they're respecting her, that they're respecting the fans, and giving her a farewell, a good farewell that we can all feel good about.
To Abbie Mills.
Because
Yeah,
it's
well-
going to happen. That's the thing. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's just how are you going to do it?
Right, so
Well, it goes down to having a marketing plan, a promotion plan in place. They didn't do anything, and when I mean anything, and I understand that it costs money to promote a show. Fox has a huge arm, has huge reach. Who are we? I mean, I still, up until the finale, was getting tweets from fans going, "Oh, I thought that show ended." Well, no, it changed date twice, nobody knew. And, it's just so frustrating because season 4 is coming around, and if it's true, that I guess Roberto Orci and Len Wiseman are going to be involved because it was their story that they pitched for season 4, they're going to have to do some kind of promotions. They're going to have to promote this show like it was the pilot. Because
Chrissy, they will.
correct. I do
That's
agree
the
with
thing.
you.
I think that they will now. I think what
But that's
what
if they
happened
can't
was
wait.
they weren't going to promote season 3. They knew that she was on her way out. I think they just wanted to have enough ratings, enough fandom, enough to get them by until they could get her out and out of the way. And now they're going to promoting this new concept, new show, with Tom as the lead, and really just now it's going to happen. Everything that we wanted to happen in season 3.
Yeah, he's gonna
now
have romance.
Yeah, but now Abbie's got.
Except that it's coming in as a mid-season replacement with Master Chef Junior as the lead.
Hi, Katie.
That shows how much
Kate joins us. Hi.
they have on it.
Well, I mean, you know,
People are gonna between now and February, people are gonna forget about it, and no one's gonna watch a bunch of 8-year-olds cooking scrambled eggs on TV on a Friday night. And then you're like, I know, I'm gonna watch this ridiculous, weird, invented
out of the blue. Well, I think, I mean, bottom line is, I think this is going to be the final season.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, if they are, in fact, going to have him looking for her, I mean, I just don't know. I just don't understand.
Also, don't forget, there's also a premise that is, this is, you know, the behind-the-scenes, allegedly on-record premise is the fact that, and, you know, again, all due respect to Tom Misen, I'm a fan of his other work, too. You know, but the reality is he wanted, you know, had a kid, he's married, you know, he wanted, you know, a better contract where he had a little less time. So are we going to be watching even Tom Misen, or are we going to watch the Scooby Gang? Because
Scooby Gang. The B Squad. The B Squad. Nothing is more boring than the B Squad. I'm sorry, I just can't do it.
And I was mad because they were impressed and everybody was calling them the Scooby Gang.
I know, I did it. Well, you know, it kind of denotes a little bit of a scat or whatever. But, you know, I mean, that's the thing, and I'm anxious to see, and I really feel like, hi, Yasha.
Hi.
Wow, I didn't think you'd show up. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm having a very extreme hair day today, so please.
Oh, that's okay.
I hear you.
So, we're just talking about, obviously, everything that's been going on. I mean, what are your thoughts? I know how you feel, but...
You know how I feel.
I do. I know how you feel. I mean...
Well, you want my thoughts on what?
Well, what are your thoughts on the show moving forward for season 4? How do you even think that that's going to work?
I mean...
Christine, she's off of her rocker.
I mean... If they want to move forward with the season 4, I mean, that's up to them. The funny thing to me is we knew that show would be renewed right after that finale aired because it was extremely arrogant. It reeked of male and white privilege. So I knew the second it aired, it would get a renewal. The funny part, what was that?
I did too. I knew it was going to be renewed. I knew it.
So the funny part about it is that show averaged a 0.7 weekly with everyone's support. Now that it has
there's nobody supporting
half of that.
Oh God.
I mean, people. It went down to 0.6 after Danny and Abbie kissed, which was extreme by every measure. So the fact that someone thinks that this show will do well in the 4th season is laughable, and again, it reeks of privilege, but, you know, it's fine. I don't mind not watching it. I'm completely okay not watching it. So I'm fine.
I know. I mean,
the thing is about it still being on. I'm okay not watching it because I'm not going to fucking watch the show, is that nobody seems to be learning the lesson. Who is learning the lesson?
Well,
right.
The writers are getting another bite at the apple, and Robert Orsi I don't know, Robert Orsi, is that how he says it?
Yeah, I think that's how
he was on Twitter saying, hey, everybody, if you were going to pitch this show for season 4, what would you do? And people were sending him all their ideas, and I was like, I have my fingers on the keyboard because I got some fucking ideas, man. And I'm like, no, you're not getting them for free. You're not, like, why don't you tell us why you deserve another bite at the apple before I give you all of my intellectual property for free so that you can pitch season 4 and make some money off of my idea?
Right.
Well, 90% of the so that's not going to happen.
Well, that will never happen.
Idea number 1 was
90% of the idea.
Pull the time machine and go back in time so you can unfuck season 2. And
the only way that they could do that is to erase. I mean, is they could have her still in the doll, but we never figured out how she got out of the dollhouse from.
Right, I know.
One.
I like at this
They
point,
could have
give me Bobby Ewing in the shower.
That is
Give me Pam Ewing opening the shower, and there's Bobby, and like, just kidding, the last 2 seasons didn't happen.
Right. Or you could have her still in purgatory and had not been rescued.
Right,
or have her still in the catacombs. Like, leave her in the catacombs.
That Abbie had for 2 seasons.
Kid coming back, damn it!
I know, Christine.
She's not coming back. It's over.
I keep praying.
Done. And Clifton Campbell's Clifton Campbell's ridiculous, sexist bullshit retcon comments after that. Like, I don't even know where he just pulled out of his ass at the last minute, but there is some bad blood on that show.
I just don't understand.
No Abbie in any form will Abbie be coming back. I was like, oh damn, that's bad blood. Something.
No. Dana Walton's comment was where she was like, it had to be.
Oh, you mean where she called Tom Mison a big star? Now let's be clear. Let's be clear.
Thomas, that was
well, and let's all be clear.
He
Tom
does not even go by
Thomas.
Thomas.
Not a big star. I don't mean to be shady, but Tom Mison is not a big star. He's just not. He's not even the biggest star.
He's a handsome guy who does some quirky stuff on TV. That's not star material. He's a really good.
He's a great actor on a.
He's a very good actor.
That's really what it is.
I didn't know
what it is. So hence he's not quite the big.
No. It's not just the comment that
really
she
good
said.
Ensemble actor. I've seen him in other things, and his sweet spot is in ensemble pieces. He's not going to carry anything.
Well,
he's just not. That's just not how he is as an actor. He's fantastic. He's working off other people.
Well, he might, but this isn't the one that he's going to carry.
Oh no!
And the fact that they see him as a big star, he's not even the biggest star on the night that you air. and that was any night, Monday, Thursday, Friday. You're not even the biggest star of a night. So the fact that they kind of did that.
No, don't be down my Tom, you guys.
I'm being real. No,
I know.
100%.
I don't agree with that.
No. It's also that she said that fans wanted him to be the center of the show. Remember her comment?
Yeah, that's right.
Fans were enthusiastic for
that's not even borne out by their own ratings can say that's factually incorrect. Their own numbers do not bear that out.
They do not.
Every time she was removed from the narrative, their ratings cut in half. Year over year, their ratings dropped in half year over year, and then in S3, dropped in half again. So they quartered by the end of S3.
If everybody wanted him to be the center of the show, then the ratings would still be at a 1.4. They would have never dropped.
Right.
I love Tom Mison. I knew him from Lost in Austin, but I didn't know him from anything else. So when I saw them on the interview with Orlando Jones is the one I've recognized the most, and I said, "Oh my gosh, that's the girl from 42," and I love Nicole Bahari in that movie, and I knew she'd done a couple other things. I've seen her in something else too, and I also saw The Last Day Without You, so I knew who she was. Tom Mison, I was like, "Oh, that's that guy from Lost in Austin."
He was like 12 in that movie, and he had horrible blonde hair, and his character.
Yeah, it was so dorky, adorable, but it wasn't. I didn't see him as a big star, and that's really not to shade him. I think he does wonderful.
I know. We all know.
He was great in that too. I mean, it's not really anything against him. It's just that this show was sold as him and Nicole as lead. They sold it. And with Orlando Jones as a strong backup.
Well, let's just say, but I mean, the bottom line is from the pilot, it's about the two witnesses in the Book of Revelations, and we know Ichabod is a witness, and we know Abbie is a witness. Nowhere in season 1 or 2 or up until the finale 3 did it say anything about, oh yeah, by the way, there's been substitutions along the way. There wasn't a substitute because people knew that the people, Katrina, her coven, Reverend Knapp, all these people that he knew and was connected to back in 1781 or 1780, you know, Abraham, all of them, they all knew he was a witness. And they preserved him, they buried him, making sure that he would connect with Abbie in 21st century.
So totally fucked up.
That journal was
so
there's when Abbie went back to when Abbie went back to 1781, whatever they went back, whenever she went back, Grace told her it was her job to fill the pages with a journal, not you or one of your relatives.
Right. Right.
One of your relatives.
Mama told her it was her job to win the war. Her mom told her that it was her job to win the war. You can't tell me that all of these women have sacrificed to save Abbie just so Abbie could move Crane forward. That makes me so mad. I'm not over it. I'm not over it.
Yeah, and Benjamin.
This is a disgrace. I've never seen anything like this shit in my life. It's horrible.
And Benjamin Franklin.
They need to fix it. I mean, you know,
how do you think they're gonna fix it? How
they need to kill it. They need to stick a fork in
Someone
it.
was about to mention what Benjamin Franklin said. He called her the American Dream. This makes me get really mad. It's like they killed the American Dream. Season 2 finale. As much as we hated Goffman and what he did throughout season 2,
that finale was amazing.
Everything
the finale was amazing.
Season 2 finale was so
amazing.
The finale was about Abbie. He called her the American Dream. That meant a lot to a lot of people, not just women, but women. You know, it was so respectful the way that he
acted. Superhero. That's why she's a superhero.
You know, they called her the American Dream, and then they just killed the American Dream.
They don't understand.
I mean, the best one.
She's a superhero. Abbie is a superhero. I'm sorry, I don't mean to. I apologize, but she's a superhero. And they don't understand. And this is where the problem also lies, is they don't get, listen, I grew up in a white neighborhood, and that's okay, and it was all good. My parents wished and wanted, like, in their eyes, back in 1970, for them, that was best, to be able to grow up in certain things.
Right.
But growing up, I think this is a gracious weave, and I'm proud of it. It's lovely. It's got 2 different tones, too. But the real reality
I noticed that.
Thank you. I know.
It looks good.
But the reality is when you grow up and you're a young black girl and you don't have this opportunity to see somebody that looks like yourself, even an iota at all, it hurts. And now here we are in 2013, 14, you know, whatever, 15, 16, and have this opportunity to see this woman grow into our lives and say, wow, she's our superhero, because we don't see that. And I'm born in 1970. I'm 45 years old. Right. And the reality is, this is somebody, it's not like, you know, a stereotype, some kind of shit. This is somebody who was real, who made sense. And God bless, first season was wonderful. And we all give kudos. This is why we watched it, because it was so good. So here we are in this moment. And writers, if you're watching and if you're listening, please understand, this is why we're mad. This is why people are pissed off. She was not somebody who should have been written in a way that made her feel, or us feel, like she was somebody who was pushing this man up, white, black, I don't give a shit who you are, but you're pushing somebody up. So this is why we're upset. And this is why, you know, I didn't mean this in all your sincerity. As somebody who looks up to somebody like that, as a woman, as a black woman, whatever you want to say, that's the problem. And that's what why we're so pissed. So
amen.
That is correct. 100%. That is equivalent to how some black people feel. Also, I'm very surprised, and I really hate to group women. I hate to group women into this, but I don't understand how any woman, white, black, whatever, can watch that and be like, oh, well, okay, all right, next season, let's go.
Thank you. It was all of season 3 and the season finale in particular, and then Campbell's comments after that. The more I think about it, the angrier it makes me. Was some of the most profoundly and blatantly sexist male fantasy midlife crisis wish fulfillment shit I have seen on television. It was disgraceful. It was Tits McGee, Colonial Barbie, with her, it was awful. Everything was in furtherance of Ichabod, maybe away after 2 episodes, and Zoe, that they was also and everything was like pushing this guy forward. And I'm like, were you guys the weirdos in college who didn't get to date the hot girl? And so now you're writing all the hot girl into all of your scripts as the girls who were in love with you, and you're the hero, and that's so gross. That's so gross and pathetic and lame, and really, I think, speaks to Effie, whose last name I'm embarrassingly forgetting, but her argument with Matt Damon on Project Greenlight about normalization is not in front of the camera, because we've got there's Abbie, there's Jenny, there's Jessica Camacho, there's various people who did the first show, but the writers' room is all dudes.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
And one woman, and that's it. And this is what happens, is that you wind up with a show that is wish fulfillment with a whole bunch of 45-year-old white guys, and the rest of us are sitting here going, wait a second, but we're your audience.
Right,
exactly. I don't need to see,
that's why for women, Pandora, the character Pandora was great, and then she fell apart as soon as she got
I had to watch my own shitty relationship from 10 years ago being played out on screen with this emotional abuse and whatever. I'm like, fuck that shit. I lived it. I don't want to watch it.
Pandora had all her agency. That's
the thing.
Oh, and then she was like,
a woman helping the guy.
Fuck you, pal. She should have just iced him out of the gate. Just greased her.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, the thing with the hidden one in Pandora, I actually loved how she was in the beginning, because it was sort of like, where is she coming from?
I thought that was a promise.
She did all that to bring her husband,
Yeah, I know, but she's doing Whispers in the Dark with the Wraith, and of course I loved Art of War, and I found it really interesting. I don't know if you guys caught this, but in the beginning of Art of War, when Ichabod and Abbie, they're playing chess, and Abbie says checkmate, and then she comes back and says, well, there's nothing like a good blind side. And that's what it was. They blindsided all of us.
This whole season was a blind side.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, and my feeling is just that I feel like the only way that the show should end is with Abbie, Nikki. I mean, I don't care how much they have to pay her or whatever.
Yeah,
she has to be, if there's going to be a series finale, I'm sorry, she has to be in it.
Yeah, it has to be.
Bottom line, there's just no two ways around it, whether, Ichabod sacrifices himself and dies, the two of them need to be together, because I don't care what you say about this Eternal Soul business. I just don't see it.
See, you know what? I'll say this: if they show Nicole in the credits, she's gonna have to get a check.
Oh, hell yeah!
Or in the flashback, she needs a check.
In a flashback. Well, that's the other thing. What are they gonna? They can't just negate the whole entire relationship for the whole entire season.
Why
they
can't
can, and they will.
Why can't they? They've done it.
They had so much disrespect for her as an actress, but for the character that she created. They couldn't even get her name right on the tombstone.
Oh, I know.
God.
I was so mad about that.
The level of contempt that they have.
That was a huge level of disrespect. Just
on
so many levels.
And they retweeted the picture too.
Yeah, I know. Which was like.
You mean the haters comment from Mr. Metzner?
Haters gonna hate.
What an asshole! Boy, this AV Club had a really interesting article about misfires in social media and fan engagement, and it came out 4 days before the Sleepy Hollow finale, and I wish they had held on to it, because I would put this squarely in that camp where they were talking about, in particular, writers and producers engaging with fans and using fan-created content, and I would throw the hashtag Ichabie in there, using fan-created content as a hook. And they were talking in particular about Shameless and The 100, but Sleepy Hollow falls right in that camp.
Yeah.
These writers and these producers and their little 20-something PAs or whatever that they have working for them get really excited, but they really misunderstood that there's a bilaterality to that arrangement where you know, if they're gonna jump in and act like they are kind of on the fan side, and they're gonna use fan created content as a hook, that we're also going to give it right back to them. And they also need to be very customer focused. I mean, I know I say this like I sound like a marketing hack here, but don't let somebody live tweet the show if they don't understand how to behave in front of their clients, which is basically us.
Right.
You do not get up in
social
front of
media
your client
101.
and call them an idiot. You don't get up in front of a client and call them a hater. Like this, you know, okay, yeah, it's art, fine, sure. This is commerce, man. This is the intersection of art and commerce right here. They're not making a TV show out of like some altruistic motive. They're getting paid to do it. And they're creating something that is supposed to be making money for the studio, and they're getting up and insulting the people who gave them their paycheck.
I know.
Don't let them near Twitter. Do not let them on Twitter to live tweet this. They have no business doing that. You need to, I mean, this has to be carefully curated. If that's what they're going to do, or don't do it at all.
Well, I think too. I think the main thing is that they need to be cognitive of what it is that they're. Sometimes I just think they tweet, they just don't think about it. You know what I mean? I honestly don't think that they're sitting there. Let me make a inflammatory tweet. I don't think they pay attention to that. That's what gets them in trouble.
At the same time, that's part of the problem. And I love you to death. But that is part of the problem, that they don't think about it, and they need to. Whether you're married,
right, exactly. If you're going to take that on as a role,
right?
Yeah, if they're going to take that on as a professional, as a component of their profession, then
I'm gonna say sometimes they might not know, but sometimes it's too painfully obvious that they do. If your fandom is really upset that when two people that normally hug when they reunite don't hug, and they're kind of upset about it, and then you tweet out besties, knowing that there's already backlash.
That's not. I don't necessarily think that's a good one. That one's fine. When they blatantly tweet out stuff like today, one of the writers tweeted out something basically shading Jacob's ladder.
Yeah.
We were like, what? We were like, why?
They're trying to say that was a mistake too, though.
I don't.
But every time they do that,
that was don't know. That was BS.
Yeah.
How many mistakes can you have?
Apparently a lot for them.
They keep doing it.
Ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. I'm just in a. I really feel like, and I said this I think before we went on air. I felt like it would have been appropriate for immediately following, the season finale. The network should have sent something out honoring Nikki and her contribution to the show, and should have said something to the fans, because we were so. First of all, I was in shock for days. I mean, thank God I had surgery on Monday. I didn't think about it for 2 weeks after that. So, but I was, we were all in shock. I couldn't even, process what was going on and, what just happened. And it would have been, I think, professional, and it would have been, it just would have honored the fans, for God's sakes, all of us that have stuck together with them, and it would have been great for Nikki to just, all they had to say is, we're sorry things, we had to write Nikki off, but we thank her for her talents and whatever. I mean, it should have been something, but there was not one thing. They didn't even send out a press release to anybody.
Chrissy, do you know Chrissy? Jenna from she was in The Office. And she was they did a pilot for a new series that's going to air in the fall. Anyway, they recast her. And CBS put out a whole long statement about her being recast because there wasn't any chemistry. They thanked her. They said how wonderful she was. And the show hasn't even aired yet.
Right.
Wow.
The show never aired.
CBS has more long-running shows than any of the networks on television.
Well, I don't know if we want to talk about CBS, though, because they're pretty tone deaf.
Yeah, they are. They are. I don't
female. Sorry. Nancy Drew. Two female.
This next season of TV is going to go to ABC for women and diversity.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
have a black head, a black leader. So
Yeah.
what do you have to say to that?
Well, and that's the other thing I was going to mention about the writers when we were talking about them. I mean, I don't know. They should get Chernold back on there. I mean, I think she's writing for another show right now, but they need to get Chernold in there. They need to get some really
They
strong.
don't listen to them.
I know, but I think that if they got her and a couple of more strong female writers to
They could
round
hire
out
me.
that writing room.
Chrissy.
And the other thing, can I just say really quick, is, we've been talking about Nikki, but we haven't really talked about the fact that Lindy is the last
Because
African.
we don't care.
She's
No
the
one
last.
cares.
Huh?
We don't care.
Why?
Lindy has repeatedly let me down as a person slash actress on social media as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? What did she say?
I liked her comments on Talking Dead, though.
Too much to go into, but I mean, she did not endear herself to Abbie Mills fans.
And I think the problem is, too, just to chime in a little bit, is that, with Lindy, we all look at, there's Lindy the actress, and then there's Jenny Mills. And we all look at her as Jenny Mills. And the reality is that when we look at the chemistry and we look at stuff besides, Ichabod, and besides Abbie, you look at Jenny and you look at Abbie as sisters, who's gone through the same thing. So, I mean, listen, I understand maybe she's just Canadian, she's different, we're all, I think we're all USA, and, I don't know if she fully understands how, I don't know. I'm going to be honest, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to speak for her. I don't want to speak for anybody. I understand her stance as somebody who, these guys, don't forget they're actors and actresses,
Right.
and they might also be kind of in like a little bit of a bubble as far as what is real and what's not real. They might not understand. They make a lot of money, these guys. They, she works very, very hard, but I don't think she understands the social implications of a lot of things. I don't think she personally did. Again, she's Canadian, so she might not have the understanding of an African American woman.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I do. I remember. Oh,
go ahead, Michelle.
I was going to say, I remember seeing a Periscope, I think it was, interview 2 weeks after the finale.
Yeah.
She said good things about Tom. She said good things about, Winters?
Zach?
Yeah.
Katya Winter?
I can't remember her name.
Oh, they were roommates.
They used to be roommates.
Yeah.
They roomed together.
But she barely even, she didn't even talk about Nicole.
She did talk about Nicole on Talking
Dead.
She talked about Nicole on Talking Dead when she was put on the show.
Oh, I saw that. That was she had to talk. That's different. At this point, she had to talk about her.
What's been happening lately is really interesting. Is there's been these very oblique comments being made, not by people who work on the show because they're covered by NDA and they can't say anything even if they wanted to.
Right.
But there's been little rumors coming out about that they're almost like blind items. That really the only logical candidate for the subject of these stories is Miss Bahari, and they all talk about particularly egregiously bad behavior on set, which I find really interesting. I think season 2 set her up. I've been in stressful job situations where your stress kind of overwhelms you and you become a very different person. Because I find it really difficult to believe that as a black woman as a lead on a genre TV show, she would deliberately shoot herself in the foot by acting out and playing the diva.
Exactly.
So I feel like season 2 was probably an event that set her up for intense stress. But what is interesting to me is these stories are coming out saying cast and crew hated this person and she wanted off and she pulled all these stunts or whatever. I'm like, I feel like you're talking about Miss Bahari there. But there's nothing as overt has been said. Gossip spreads like wildfire in Hollywood, and there has been nothing that has come out talking about even a single instance, like a specific instance of anything she's done.
Well,
And
the bottom line is
everyone's
the bottom
playing
line
games with this one.
well, the bottom line is we're never gonna know what really happened,
And you don't know her.
And
That's
yeah, none
exactly.
of us know
So
her.
we don't know her.
We
Yeah,
don't
but don't
know
you
her.
care about
She
the
might be a
fans?
bitch, like,
And
you
here's
don't
the
know.
other issue is that I agree with you, Sarah. Oh shit, low battery mode. No. But don't you, as a caring about your fandom, don't you care about your fandom? You didn't have her in a DVD in season 1 or season 2?
Season
Whatever.
2.
It was season 2, which was
Whatever season. The reality is that you don't. Whether you're having problems with her or not, and whether that's the truth or not, you need to, I don't give a shit if you care about her.
Oh yeah, no. Oh no, I don't. I mean, I don't mean to say that like she deserves professional retaliation. Or, that's so petty and childish. But I mean, I don't know. I'm really curious to know what went down in season 3. The other thing about I know people have been hard on Lindy and hard on all of the promos and cons and things like that have featured the entire B squad, and neither Mr. Meister nor Ms. Bahari have been on there, and they all talk about, like, they're kind of joking about spin-off shows. They've all known, but you have to bear in mind that they've all known since probably close to the beginning of the season that she will be coming back. And what I had heard also was that a lot of what these other women are, Zoe and what's her face, Foster, his name I never remember. These are all like testing the waters to see will people buy Ichabod with somebody else. And the answer is like a resounding no.
Right.
But they all were going into this with the anticipation that Miss Bahari is not coming back. So they're like running with it. They're like, well, it's going to be the Crane and Zoe show, or the Crane and what's her face show.
Well, the other thing that I feel like too, as far as season 4 goes, I mean, honestly, they don't need any more romancing going on. I feel like they should keep it to the mission at hand. Like I'm gonna like compare it to like Supernatural. I mean, that show's been on 11 seasons now. The boys, they've had their little dalliances here and there, but it's always about the boys, the brother, the mission. Whatever it is, that's what it is primarily about, and none of this love stuff. And honestly, if Nikki isn't there, we all know that he was in love with Abbie. That was the bottom line. It was, whether he said it or not. And so I just feel like at this point, it should just be, it's going to be 13 episodes. I think it needs to be like, they should do like 11 really tight, episodes.
I don't think,
and they should do like,
it should, if it's 13 episodes, then they're going to drag out another season because they're not going to have that syndication. So I think they may as well go ahead and do the 18 and just end this and shoot everyone and put them out of their misery. I don't know what has to be done here.
Just shoot everybody.
Everyone who's, I don't know what to say to this. And for the people who keep telling us, this is why the writers, and I know that you don't like people to be really negative towards writers, but we're way beyond that.
Yeah,
Those
go
writers
ahead.
are such scum because every other day we keep hearing about, well, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't give a damn about what happened behind the scenes. I'm talking about what happened on camera, in my face, where you
do your fucking job,
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, the bottom line is that because that's why I'm really hoping Roberto Orci, Len Weissman, they can hopefully rein them in. Yeah, but I mean, if the writing improves, at least we'll have a decent season 4, I mean, honestly, season 3, I actually liked it. Up until I liked it up until he carried her out of the thingy, and then the rest is a big blank for me. But anyway, but I liked it. I thought that, they started building the story. If you watch it from the first episode forward, you can kind of see, I do think that the whole, the hidden one thing, he was supposed to be omnipotent, right? So, what the hell? I mean, it was the easiest kill of a villain that I've ever seen in my life. I was like, what? And then Pandora's supposed to be omnipotent, and then, okay, Headless Horseman rolls around, axes her to death. I'm like, who would do that?
The biggest thing
about the entire season, they set have a whole lot of really interesting things. A lot of us, we like the idea of the scroll or the tablet. We like the idea of the Thora. And everything kind of went nowhere or completely fell apart. I mean, everything that we loved, they killed. They killed the Kindred. They killed Joe and the Wendigo.
Oh,
and
the
then
Joe.
all
And we
of
still don't
really-
know what happened to Ichabod in 9 months.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
we
God,
still don't
yeah.
know. And then when we
Seriously,
come
though,
to the
this
end, we have the build up of these two characters. We never got to see the hidden one actually do anything powerful. You know,
I know.
that was a big mistake. I think if the very first episode, if they were going to introduce this, they should have just shown a quick flashback of just chaos happening back in 4000 BC, whatever. You know, just chaos and, you know, just craziness, so that we at least know that there's something imminent that we're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
And then how hard is it for him to just make, like, it's already sleepy, you're used to crazy stuff happening. What if just earthquakes and, like, lightning bolts just start striking stuff? You know,
Yeah,
and
I know.
so
It
that we
should've
see
been
that there's
more
some
epic.
danger.
Right. Well, the
We saw
other thing
nothing.
is,
They totally flopped at the sci-fi fantasy. They flopped. They introduced concepts that they don't know how to take anywhere, and it just make the whole season a waste of time, especially knowing that Abbie was going to die at the end. If you're don't waste our time, just give us Ichabod and Abbie the whole through all season 3. If you know you're going to kill her off, because everything else went nowhere.
right.
She got trapped in a box.
Well, that was the other thing. I
In
was
the
gonna
first
say.
15 minutes.
In the first
Yeah, right.
she got trapped in a box.
Well, the thing is like, okay, so the beginning of the season we talked about the tablet, the Sumerian tablet that was the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. They never really followed through with that. And
Then
then
they're supposed to be the two witnesses that are supposed to be like together to the end of time. And, they
Destroyers.
whack
And it
one
looks
off.
like Ichabod and Abbie. You have a just really
Yeah, it
tall
looked like
guy
it's
and this really pretty girl.
right, and then destroyers. Destroyers of what? Hello?
You never know.
Destroyers of the
Destroyers of a really once high quality television show.
I mean, yes. You guys are cracking me up. Oh my God, that's so funny. But you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, okay, and then it was just, there was no big crescendo at the end of it all, except for the fact that of silence when Abbie gets killed and the entire world just went silent.
That was awful.
And why couldn't it looked like Ichabod was holding on to the wall. I'm like, was that supposed to be a force field or something? I couldn't tell. It just holding on to the wall and not going.
It read like a script by somebody who didn't know that they were supposed to have written a script. That was, I mean, it reminded me of like a paper that I wrote in college when I forgot something was due the next day, and I was like, oh fuck, man, and I like.
It was.
I love that Ichabod.
And then we have Pandora. Okay, so in the beginning, Pandora only has minimal powers in her box. But in a snap of a finger, she's able to stop the horseman and suck him into the box. How come at the end, now that she's a god, she can't stop the horseman?
Well, because it was awful writing, that's why.
It was really bad writing.
Because it was terrible.
Why is the horseman not actually Ichabod to pieces for stabbing Katrina? I don't
There's no why. There was
you got me out of the box, but still, you killed Katrina. She's the reason I'm a horseman. And I'm not
Wasn't it
going to
like
laugh at you
Ichabod
and kill her?
No. And other ones would tell
No.
Abbie to get in the box? I don't get it.
I know, I don't get it either. Well, I wanted to ask you guys.
Get in the box.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think, like, Roberto Orsi tweeted out about plot holes? I mean, there's so many.
Really?
Really? He did. He wanted to know what the plot holes were, and I'm just like,
that was fucking show.
Everything that was introduced in season 3 was a plot hole. Not to mention the plot holes we still see from season 2.
Season 3.
Well, like,
Season
because
3 is a plot hole.
I actually feel like
Every
I don't know.
episode there was a
I
plot
wish
hole.
season 2 and 3 could just be erased and we could just go back to season 1 and pick up right where we left off at that point. Because, I mean,
Season 3 was the big uh-oh.
Yeah, I almost envy Firefly fans because I know they're so enraged that it ended after one 13-episode season, and like it kills them, it destroys them at like a molecular level. But I'm like, after all of this, I'm like, you guys have no idea how lucky you are. Because you guys went out with some
Firefly and just got the little mini movie.
I would rather be frustrated by not doing something great than have to watch this thing just like fall into this pile of pig shit. This was what it turned into. Blah.
Well, Michelle, what were you saying?
I was going to say, with Firefly, I was a Firefly fan. I was kind of happy it ended at season 1 because a lot of those shows at the time that went on to season 2 were terrible.
They are. Fox really lost their edge.
Don't get the movie.
Watching the upfronts over the last, where everything is going over the last 2 weeks has been really interesting. And watching the CW go from this like kind of come from behind network, and they were like the UPN plus the WB network, and they merged, and they were never a contender, and all of a sudden they have cornered the market on genre television.
Oh, totally.
And they got Supergirl, one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, and it's moving it. I mean, they've got a lock on that market, and it's really interesting to watch. Fox, when Fox came out of the gate as a viable network, they had. I remember Friday nights. My Friday night
X-Files.
Briscoe County Jr., then the X-Files, splitting a gigantic bottle of cheap wine with my best friend, getting fucked up and going out dancing. That was my Friday night. They had a lock on genre. They knew how to do it. That lasted for a while, and then they went on to American Idol and the cooking shows and the game shows, and they must have just gotten rid of their creative department because they can't do it anymore. They can hang on for a season, like you say, like Dallas season 1, Firefly season 1, Fringe season 1. They're good for one season, but they don't know how to follow through.
No.
They have lost the genre edge. Take it over the CW, man. I would take the hit on FX budget if I can get better writing. Which you can on CW.
CW doesn't know when to let shows die.
Well,
Arrow needs to die.
That's the opposite problem.
Needs to die. Originals needs to die. Vampire Diaries needs to die.
Some of the newer things that they're coming up with, they had some really great concepts when they came up with the Flash to just shake things up. And the same thing with Legends of Tomorrow. And I personally don't watch TV the same anymore. I don't want to see POCs as peripheral in the background. There's a secretary somewhere that's Latina. I don't want to see that more. I want to see like my world looks like. There's people of all colors, and we interact, and they're part of. I want them to be part of the story, not just someone sitting in the background. Oh, a Latino person walked by, or oh, look, a black guy walked by. That's not how. I don't watch TV like that anymore. So when I look at a show and it's just like a poster of just white people, I'm not even interested. I'm like, that's going to be boring. I just think it. And automatically now, it just kind of like, I feel like that's not what I want to watch. It's just not what I want to watch anymore.
Well, listen, I wanted to talk about this Tumblr post real quick. It was posted by SteelRigged-blog, and I don't know exactly who it is, but she did a really great job at, sort of also articulating, about Sleepy Hollow. And let me see. I just lost my spot. Hold on a minute. Okay, so this is what I found, and I love this. Okay, so she said, she's talking about the pilot episode and the fact that Abbie, Abbie is African American. Ichabod shows up at the 21st century, and she says this. So there's Ichabod waiting in his cage, and then Abbie shows up, a black woman, not in a cage. Her freedom specifically addressed when Ichabod said the word emancipated. She was someone he still saw in terms of slavery, but she was the one that literally held the keys to his modern world in her hand. And then she's got in parentheses, of course, to screw with that, they shot this from his POV, so she looks like the one behind bars, which, true, I didn't even notice that at first, till you brought that up. Ichabod has to listen to her. He has to defer before things start getting better for him. What is more real than that? Ichabod might have been an everyman for a certain type of everyman, but Abbie is the arbitrator, the judge, the leader. She was the character that decides what part of all that 18th century knowledge still matters and what part needs to be chucked, like yesterday. And in season 1 at least, she judged him from a place that was informed from her own personal morality and experiences. She was not all good and self-sacrificing. The unfairness she had experienced as a child affected her. The central question was if she was going to reject Ichabod and through him, symbolically at least, this whole American experiment. So I just found that really interesting because it's true. You know, she always took the lead. You know, most of the time, except for I'm going to say a few episodes in season 2. But she was, especially in season 1, she was like she was the one in charge. He was the one that had to sort of, go, go with what she was saying. And that's not who we've been seeing in season 3. I mean, she wouldn't have, I don't think, so quickly sacrificed herself like she did in season 3. She sacrificed herself twice. First, when she
3 times.
3 times. Well, yeah, when she went into the catacombs, she sacrificed herself there. She sacrificed herself at the end. What was the other one?
She went to the tree, the box, and then the box again, I think. Something like that.
yeah. And so, and I just don't think that it was so out of character for her. And I think that that's the other thing that kind of upset me as far as the way her exit was. It was just so not her character at all whatsoever. I mean, what do you guys feel about that?
I feel like before, when she would sacrifice herself at the end of season 1 and then at the end of season 2, she wasn't necessarily sacrificing herself in a I think I'm gonna die. She was like, I'm going to do this mission. It wasn't like, oh, this could kill me kind of thing. When she went back to Purgatory, for her, it was, okay, we're going to get Katrina out. Katrina's going to do some powerful stuff, and I'm going to take on Moloch. Right. She got tricked into it, yeah, but, she just, into staying. That was not her plan, was not to stay. Mm-hmm. Her plan was to go. They didn't know she had to stay until Katrina's like, oh, by the way, now that you're here, someone's got to stay. So that wasn't, when they went in, that initially she wasn't like, I'm going to just sacrifice my life. And the same thing at the end of season 2, when she went back in time, she's like, oh, snap, Katrina's going to erase Ichabod. I'm going, she didn't really know what she was getting into. She just knew she had to stop Katrina. So it was always mission-minded, not like I'm just going to sacrifice myself and the battle is over for me. It was never like that. It was, she was in the battle.
Right. And that's the difference. I mean, and then, she just automatically, oh, well, I'm just going to, I'll go in the box. I mean, I just can't even handle it. Christine, what were your thoughts on that?
Nothing. I'm in the jungle, right?
What's going on? You got the jungle going on.
This is terrible. And I can't get out either. That's the only place I can put the phone.
You're so funny.
You guys can see me. What was the question, Chrissy? I'm listening
to
so much right
I
now.
just read that. That's all right. I just talked about how Abbie was always, one in charge and strong, and it would have been, having her, accept to be sucked into the box just wasn't her character, I mean,
nice.
What were your thoughts about that?
I mean, no, and again, I think it just goes back why the anger is there. And listen, I don't want to be negative. I'm not negative. You know me very well at this point. I'm fun-loving and like to joke around, and I'm remotely, whether sober or a little inebriated, but whatever. Seriously, I like to have a good time, and the reality is, this wasn't fun. This wasn't good.
No.
I like that we were all kind of on the same page. We loved this show, even with the low ratings, the low promotion, the low whatever that we got, and I just feel very disappointed. So with that, I think that in the eyes of the executives, they probably thought they were doing a good thing, and they probably thought, hey, listen, we're gonna do these great scenes with Ichabod and her, with the kissing of the hand, the whole thing. And I think that, on the other end, but I get it. And listen, you don't want to. I'm not sounding. I grew up, as I said, very differently. I get it. I get both sides of the spectrum, but they lost it, and there wasn't enough attention. And you know what? I think that, if a lot of great things happen when you have like a group, and I think that a lot of these writers, if you have a little privilege going on there, and you have a little not, understand that. So, maybe I do have a little privilege going on, and I don't understand what you mean, because I think that's what happened. I don't know if they're all like this racist or bigoted or whatever, but I do understand that they just don't get it and don't understand that.
Yeah.
So ask us. Seriously, and I mean that, because I think they're watching right now, and I mean that. Ask us. Besides this bush and juggle that I have here,
I know that
this is a disaster. But ask us, and I think that means something to different people. Sometimes, we all have grown up in different ways. Not everybody understands, what it's like in being called names, or because of your color, or because you're a woman. And I think that it's a very simple thing that says, well, you now, I basically was here now because to move you forward, Crane.
Yeah,
and your
I
journey
mean, that
and
was
your
like,
thing.
Yeah.
And
I just can't even.
tweeted to them,
as a female, it hurts people as a woman of color. Come on.
I know.
No, I've tweeted to them, and they've been I tried to catch them when they're actually tweeting with us and responding to us. And they when in a period of time when they would actually retweet something that I said, or Orsi or Ice Cough, and I'd be like, and I try to catch them then, and I ask them, what did you think about those words coming out of Abbie's mouth? I'm really curious what their thought process was, or how they felt about it. Since they aren't the ones that write it, they won't answer that. I mean. Ice Cop even put me off. He's like, "Oh, I'll answer that later." And I think Orsi said the same thing. That he would get back, but they never answer that. They'll answer anything else. But so it's like they don't want to know, or they don't want to hear. They want to maintain that level of ignorance.
They don't. I got into it with Albert Kim. I forget what the episode was, but
I asked him too.
He or somebody else threw up the phrase "strong female character" at one point, and I'm like, if I never hear that phrase again, I will be a pretty happy person. I'm really sick of listening to men writing sexist, racist tropes and using the phrase "strong female character," and I called him out on it, and I said, this is not a talisman against shitty writing. You can't You cannot write Tits McGee there as this character, and then say, well, she's a strong female character, but she's not. She's running around half naked, pleading for Ichabod to love her, and saying, I only exist in this, I live in this fucking catacomb for 250 fucking years so that you could progress in timeline. Oh, but she's a strong female character. She is not. She lives for the progress and the progression of other women. So don't tell me that. Do not piss on my leg. I'm sick of listening to your bullshit. And he was like, oh, good note, good note. I'm like, well, you better fucking take it, kid, because you're going to get a job pretty soon. The demographic has shifted out from under you, and you are not keeping up with this market. You are not keeping up with your audience. We are demanding something really different. Your ratings are in the toilet. Figure it out.
They're only hearing those handful of people that are like, oh, it's wonderful, it's great, can't wait, Tom's blue eyes.
Yeah, no, that's what they only want. He has lovely blue eyes. I will say this.
Tom really does. But hello,
I'm not going to turn on the TV show to watch him throwing some man-baby tantrum. I'm so tired of that. Women don't. I mean, do most women want to see some grown man flailing around and having to be dragged around and told how to behave in public? Jesus Christ.
What we need to get back to as far as Ichabod Crane is, I want to see 18th century Ichabod when he was in command at the army.
He was Captain Crane.
He was captain. He had his shit. He was in charge. He had his shit together. I mean, yes, I love all the quirky.
You may see that. you may get to see that because apparently Abbie did her job and turned him back into whatever he needed to be. She did his job. So you may see.
And that gets back to the point. No matter what they do, I don't know how I can get past what they did to Abbie. It doesn't matter. They can write.
I'm done. I don't really get what they do in season 12.
I don't know how. I kind of want to know the people that are over it. How did you get over it? Because I can't.
I'm not over it.
I got over it because I knew it was going to happen.
Well, we
How
just
did
don't
you-
have these two.
I'm not over
I
it.
kind of expected it.
We're not over it.
This
It's
is
just
the
that
thing.
a lot of us don't tweet. A lot of us aren't going to keep tweeting and hashtagging the show because, believe it or not, hashtagging the show shows that you still care and you are potentially still interested. So please, for the love of God, stop hashtagging.
Nielsen is starting to capture hashtags, so I stopped hashtagging it, or actually I started calling it Shady Hollow. I'm not interested. I'm done. I'm 3 and out. They've ripped my shot twice. They're not breaking much. They don't get a third chance from me, for sure.
No, exactly.
All right.
People who aren't going to watch it, if you're not going to watch it, stop tweeting those people and stop hashtagging the show because it doesn't matter that you think of it in a negative way. They think of it in a positive way.
Yeah, they're just counting. They're just running analytics on the. They're just running analytics on the hashtag.
Right, and it comes across as you're looking for a way to continue on with the show. If you want to continue on with the show, then do it and just put yourself out of your misery. But stop hashtagging if you're not going to do it. Let it die.
Okay, and this is, I want to say, and I would like to say this, and I'm probably going to get lots of hate, whatever.
Yes, you will.
I will.
I'm ready.
I can only be how I am, No, I just want to say, fine, everybody's upset. They don't want to watch the show. I respect that. You don't like it. You're pissed off at what happened. I'm still pissed off too. I mean, you guys don't know.
I can't tell.
What? Well, seriously. I mean, listen, just because I still am going to support the show, and just because, anyway, yes, I'm very angry. I'm angry at how it was handled. I'm angry at the way it was written. I'm angry that, they did nothing to honor the character, Nikki, the fans, all that. Believe me. I mean, everything that we've done during season 3 and Hollow Hangout and being on Twitter and getting things trended. I mean, yes, I'm very upset at all of that. But having said that, I am still going to watch season 4. But if you don't want to watch the show, God bless. Don't watch the show. If you're upset, God bless. That's your opinion.
But Chrissy, I'm going to tell you this.
Wait. But what I don't like is the nasty and confrontive way, the harassing that keeps going on Twitter.
No one's being harassed.
I have been attacked on Twitter by a couple of twits. I just blocked them because I'm like, what the hell? You don't even follow me. You got five followers and you're causing shit for no reason. That's what I don't understand. It's like, fine, you said your piece, but this past 5 weeks, everyone has tweeted the right, everybody's had all their shit to say, and I just feel like you can still be angry, you don't have to watch the show, don't turn it on, don't do anything about the show, but don't rain on all of our parades because we want to watch it. I don't understand that.
First of all, you don't, but see, my point is, you don't get to dictate what people say. Now, if you don't, people
and I'm not saying
one
that.
thing. Well, one thing I will say, for a lot of people who kind of get on their high horse about the negativity, completely pisses me the hell up. I mean, I can't take it. I mean, there are
Neither can I. That's why I get so mad.
There are several people who I don't directly even talk to that had something to say about what I said. I don't give a damn if I don't follow you and I don't talk to you, you don't get to tell me, oh, well, you're negative, so what? Get off your high horse. I'm going to say what I want to say, when I want to say it, how I want to say it.
Right.
Now, I'm not attacking you. Well, what I'm saying is I don't attack you. I don't talk to you like that. But you don't get to bring up what I say in a negative way. Because I'm going to say what I want when I want it. I'm grown. I'm an adult. So,
well, of course, and I didn't say that. All I said was,
No, not you, but I mean
You.
for the people who watch this and for the people who watch this and have to get on their high horse about the
Yeah.
negativity, I want them to know, get off of your high horse. You don't follow me and I don't follow you. And I will continue to say what I want to say, and so will a lot of people. And you shouldn't have anything to say about it. Let me be.
Yeah. And I
Sorry,
agree.
Can I
I'm
make
saying
one
that.
little? Can I make one little comment? And I honestly mean this. And listen, I'm actually a Tom Mison supporter. I think he's adorable. I think he's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm right now not a big sleepyhead. I'm not. I used to be. I was a huge sleepyhead. I went to
I
Comic
know.
Con. I did it because I wanted to support it. You know, I met you, Chrissy, and I'm happy to.
I know.
And I'm very happy to. And I can't. And I hope we actually get to do this again. I really,
Yeah.
really do. But I mean, for me personally. And I understand how the fandom is pissed off, and I understand and your respect of trying to still support the show. But please understand too, at the same time, this is protest. The reason why people are pissed. If we don't say anything, then we're gonna have more issues in Hollywood like
Yes,
we've never
that's
seen
true.
before. Whether it's a woman, whether you're a woman
Thank
of
you.
color, whether you're a person of color, I don't give a shit who you are. So the reason why everybody is doing what they're doing is because they're protesting. And I'm sorry. I know. Listen, I live in New York, and I understand people live in New York City. When Black Lives Matter started their protests,
Right.
they were, basically laying down by the subways, and it was so much. Even Alec Baldwin came out.
Yeah.
As a lefty, was pissed. Why
Yeah.
are these people disrupting my? Because you know what? If we don't get the attention, then we don't get the attention. So
Right.
we hope the best for women of color. So that's
Right.
why. And I know it's
And
hard.
I get
and I know
that.
it sucks.
And I
get
totally.
it too. And it's.
And I get that.
But
I
that's why.
can't
But I
wait
don't-
till
I don't
can't
mind
wait
the
till
I
other
don't mind
people
the
get it.
protesting. I don't mind that. What I'm saying is there's a way to go about it that is in a nice way. You don't have to attack
No.
people
No,
on
people
Twitter.
Everyone
have
should
to-
just leave each other alone.
No.
I know it's hard because I
just-
see it, and I've said I feel like a child in the middle of a divorce because I still want to tweet to the writer, or not the writers necessarily, but the producers, because if I can say something that's going to make it different for the next actor, that they're going to put another, then
Exactly.
it's probably going to be a woman of color. How is she going to be treated? Is she going to be treated?
That's why I still.
You know,
She's going to be treated
how
like
is
crap.
Finale going to be?
I mean-
They've done a terrible job writing women, and it has to stop.
Well,
and
that's
I
why.
feel like I have a choice. I can sit back and say I hate it now. I'm just gonna turn off my Twitter and walk away,
Right.
or I can say something.
But you
And
protest.
as a woman, as someone who is a fan of Tom Mison, it's also, I feel very torn because yes, I want to support him, but as a woman, it's, how can I say what
Right.
was done to the character of Abbie is okay? You know,
Right.
it's not okay,
Shit.
and it's gonna keep
No,
happening.
it's
And
not
these
okay.
tropes.
One thing-
The trophies was all about Sleepy Hollow. I mean, it's ridiculous. It has to stop. And if they're listening, I'm going to put my input in. And people can say, well, why are you still tweeting? Why do you still care? Or, and
Yes.
I loved this show. I loved the entire concept. Everything about that pilot, I loved
Oh,
it.
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
We need more of that. And if they think that that's a failure, we're going to stop getting that, and they're going to start reverting back to the old ways of just all white leads, and black people and Latina people are just the peripherals, and I don't want that. And I don't, when they
Right.
do have
Thank
women
you,
of color
Tina.
on,
Thank you.
women of color, yeah, we've had issues with the way that women have been treating on television. They always need to be rescued, but women of color
Right.
are another issue. And as a woman, how can I say that, well, they're fixing my issues. Women are at least being written better, until recently. Women are at least being written better, so I can ignore the women of color, the way that the women of color are treated. I can't do that. Now that I
Right.
know, and it took
Thank
me
you.
falling in love with a character like Abbie Mills for me to see the light. But once I've seen it, how am I supposed to go back?
You
And
can't.
what am I
I
supposed
mean,
to do?
I agree with
Shut
you.
up
Oh
and
my
not say
gosh.
anything?
Guys, I just figured out you can touch people's picture to view their name. So so I appreciate what you said, Christine, about all Black Lives Matter, and that's my point to you, Christy. I understand that you want people to be nice and polite, but that's just not how this works. We're not going to do that. You don't get to, and it may be a race thing, but we have to stand up for something. So I mean, it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be polite. So what I would suggest is that you enjoy the show as you enjoy it, but you don't get to tell people how they get to react and enjoy it. So if they want to be negative, let them be negative. Don't follow them, block them, mute them, whatever.
At least it's communication.
You know, it's going to be, it is going to be what it is. We get to be how we want to be, and I'm going to have to do that.
I just want us all to get along, Miss Pollyanna over here.
It's not possible.
I know, but I still
we gotta
I
fight
think
a little bit,
people
baby.
should
You know
be
I love
allowed.
you, but we gotta fight a little bit to get to points where we need to get to. If we
I
sit
think
there
that
and say,
when they're turning
okay,
personal attacks on people, then that's not right.
Gonna work
No,
anymore.
and for the most part, I don't see a lot of that. I mean, it's been over a month now.
I mean,
but
it's fine that people are negative and hate the show, whatever, tweet about it. But when you're attacking people and say, I like Sleepy Hollow, oh, I can't wait till the 4th season, and then they all come in and attack that person.
Well, right. That's what happened. That's what's going on with me, and I was just like,
I don't agree with that.
I don't
agree with that either.
Because they put a tweet out.
I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with
that.
No, I just ignore all that. I'm happy for Sleepy Hollow season 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Ignore them.
I go through the timeline.
Do what you want, but
go ahead, tweet your own thing. I don't really give a crap. But if someone says they like it, and then those people that hate on it then jump on them, then I'm like, can you all go fuck yourselves?
Yeah,
I mean, that's true too. But
I will sometimes jump in if someone says Nikki Bahari wanted to leave, so blah blah blah. Then I have a couple of times said, well, wonder why she wanted to leave or something like that. But I try not to jump out.
I mean, as long as you're not attacking personally, I don't care.
Well, no, I never attack anyone personally.
I mean,
but it's just, if you're going to take a dig at Nikki Bahari or the actress or the character, if you're going to say something about the character, then I might say something.
Yeah,
but if
even
you're
if
just
someone
happy
says
about
they don't want it, that's not an attack. That's not an attack on you. If you say you want to see it, I don't want to see it. That's not an attack on you. What's the problem?
Well, what my problem is that there are people that are watching the show, that are watching Twitter and social media just to pounce on everybody that might be interested in seeing what season 4 is. That's what happened with me.
Agree with. I'm going to say something. Doesn't mean that I'm attacking you.
And we've tweeted back and forth, and we were like, okay, we'll agree to disagree and whatever. I mean,
some of them that are tagging people are using curse words and saying
some of them are really
stuff like that. I don't agree with that.
But see, what now people are trying to say is, well, just because you don't want to see it and I want to see it, then you're going to be attacking me. Okay, BS. Yeah. If I don't like something you say, I don't like something you say. If you don't like it, that's just a conversation.
Right,
so
right.
It's like
but if you're gonna say,
you want to be overly positive about it, fine. But don't expect everyone to just agree with you. Then you just need to start blocking people right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously. I got upset because I said that, and then I'm a piece of shit and, a whole bunch of other stuff because I'm
That's when it's not right. That's when it's not right. When they start dragging and doing name
calling. That's what I was upset about, and that's what I'm talking about. It's like,
But that's an individual, though. That's an individual who's probably an idiot.
Because what it sounded like is you want people to just be overall that's just individual. For the most part, I mean, I'm always going to disagree. Now,
I know you always disagree with me.
I do, and you know what? So much so, I do. I disagree with you a lot. But what I will say is, I have been way harder on you than you have, and you have accepted it. So,
right.
You would be surprised at some of the things that I have to say about you that are extremely positive, just because of how you handle my negativity towards you.
Exactly.
So I mean, I'm serious. I'm
very nice.
If I respect you, I respect you,
is what you say, Chrissy. She respects you.
Oh, well, thank you.
I mean, I really do.
And I respect you too.
I mean, it's fine, but I mean, I'm just saying what I want to say to you is, people aren't going to agree with you, and it's going to be fine. I'm going to still be on here talking about what I want to talk about. People don't have to be nice about it, is my point.
Right.
They don't need to be nice. They don't need to be polite, because it's social media and it's Twitter. We're going to be what we want to be.
That's why I I Am Abbie Mills campaign, really,
Oh
just to
yeah,
promote.
you should.
That was
You,
awesome.
Yeah,
you
we
need to
still. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
mention your stuff because you need to get T-shirts sold.
Yeah, so basically, I started the I Am Abbie Mills campaign just like to get back at Hollywood for lack of diversity on TV. Like, that's just a big issue for me. But we did start a campaign where we would make T-shirts, and I wrote like a whole, story about why I created this hashtag. And Black Girl Nerds actually was helping me out with this, but
That's
we
awesome.
actually got shut down because Fox owns the right to the Abbie Mills name.
Oh really?
They're full of shit. Sorry.
So
Me.
yeah, I mean,
Are they still? Because she's
That's
not on the
cool.
show anymore. You know
Yeah,
what?
I
You
mean,
could
Come
probably.
on, you know it's bullshit. It's negative.
yeah,
If
I
it was
mean, because they're
anything
upset
else at
about,
any other
yeah.
time, Alicia, you know damn well that they would not have shut you down because their other
Yeah.
shirts, you got a lot of play, which is God bless you. I mean that wholeheartedly. I supported it, and I get it, and I understand it. And the reality is that you got too much play. That's why they shut you down.
Yeah.
Aw.
I mean, we still like the hashtag is still like going crazy right now, and like we even have a Tumblr page, and like we've made
Really?
lots of national articles and like everything. So
So
I
that's
mean,
cool.
yeah, it's a pretty cool thing, but just because I decided to make a T-shirt, they are still big mad about it and like decided not to let me produce a T-shirt. But I don't really care about that. But the sad thing is that the money was going to, Black Girls Rock, and so
Right, I
now
know.
we
Well,
don't have any
can
money
we
to
come
do it.
up with something else? We should brainstorm and try and come up with something else to help.
Yeah,
What do you
we just can't use anything that has to do with like Fox and Sleepy Hollow,
Oh
pretty
my
much.
Well, can I
god.
ask you a question?
That makes totally no
Alicia,
sense.
my thing is, and I'm wondering, what if my name was Abbie Mills? I'm just
Yeah.
asking the
I
question.
said
What if
that
my
too.
name was Abbie Mills?
Yeah, that's what I was
No, we
thinking.
just
And right?
Yeah,
well
what
we
if people decide to name their kids after Abbie? I mean, come on. Would
we
would
just
It
you?
can't.
doesn't matter if your name is. There's a million people right now that their names is Abbie Mills. So how are they shutting it down? Is it the description in your bio or in whatever it says
Or is
about us?
because you're making a profit off it? Is it? And then, but you're still, even though you're still giving the money to charity.
Oh, none of the money's coming to me though, so like none of it
No,
is
if
going
they'll,
straight.
Just taking the money's going to
their
charity.
intellectual property. I mean, it's copyright law and IP law.
Yeah.
They could do it. If your
But
name
not
actually was
necessarily. The
Abbie
point
Mills,
is that
they
if
could.
my
They
name is
would. They
Abbie
would
Mills
not
right
win their
now,
case, but since it's not, they can.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think that if my name is Abbie Mills right now, who are them to shut that? They're going to shut that. If I wrote a T-shirt right now that says "I am Abbie Mills" and my name is Abbie Mills, are they going to shut it down?
No, they're not. They can't. They can't.
So what
If your
the
name is
problem is
demonstrably
that
not Abbie
she
Mills,
needs to
though,
put
they
it
can
out.
say that it's their IP.
No. She
Well,
needs to put it out in a different way. And how you do it is put it out in a sense. Because there are people putting Abbie Mills deserves better that aren't getting the amount of tweets or amount of play that she got because she got Washington, right? Am I wrong, Alicia? You were in the Washington Post or whatever you
Yeah, we
got.
were in
It's
Huffington
like
Post.
phenomenal
Huffington Post.
Yeah.
thing
Huffington Post,
that
Washington
happened. So my
Post,
point
and
is,
other stuff.
thank you. So the point is that maybe she needs to chill out on the bio to not mention Sleepy Hollow. And if you say, I am Abbie Mills because of X, Y, and Z without mentioning, just like the writers have been putting out vague bullshit and putting out passive aggressive shit.
That's hilarious.
That's the truth. And now you don't, right, exactly. So you put it out the exact same way and then let them fight you on that because that doesn't mean bullshit. If my name is Abbie Mills right now, I can have a shirt that says I am Abbie Mills. They do not have that trademarked. So don't worry about it. Just put it out. I'm telling you. That's right.
Well, I think we should
Sorry,
come up with
that's
something
the truth.
else to work. That's a bummer.
But yeah, I created like the T-shirt. Like I don't know if you guys read what I posted as the
Right.
story behind
That's
it,
what they have a
But
problem with.
but
Is what I wrote.
yeah, like that's all I kept thinking about was the "I am a man" protest. Like, and this is my form of protesting. You know.
I
So I
liked
mean.
it. Oh,
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're gonna come up with something else. But yeah, if you guys have any input, I know the writers are watching this right now, so we might do this off air.
How
The writers aren't watching this.
how about just what if you said I am Abbie? I mean,
Right.
Yeah, you could do that.
Exactly. Thank you. I am
or
Abbie.
I am Abbie, the
How are we
American
gonna
Dream,
fight
or
that?
something
You
like
can't
that.
shut that down. Right. Hashtag
I am
I am
Abbie.
Abbie.
Yeah, I am Abbie,
Hashtag-
the American Dream.
Yeah, the American Dream. There you
Right.
go.
That's it. That's
Hashtag
That's it.
I am
That's
the American
I
Dream.
am Abbie.
Yeah, awesome.
Boy,
Well-
they hate my ass right now.
I know.
They hate my ass right now.
Ah!
They
No,
hate
don't
us,
love
Chrissy.
Listen,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Listen, I'm like a nice person. I do my thing. I have my own stuff. I have my own show. And I get it. And the reality is they're not doing the right thing. If I was them, I'd be so radio silent. It's not even funny. Instead of thinking of like, well, let me go and defend, you know. And listen, maybe some of these guys don't work on a show anymore, and they feel like they need to defend. But at this point right now, people are too angry to understand. And I, you know, it's very hard when you read something and you say something. It's two different things, and I think they don't quite understand that. We're Twitter. We're a big thing right now, and it's a good thing. But they don't get it, so
And
they
people
suffer, and so we.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are watching what they do. When someone tweets out, you know, sometimes people of color just die on a show, and then another actress likes that tweet. Everyone's watching right now because everything is so
Lindy Greenwood.
And, yeah, I'm like, I keep trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
She's been unfollowed already.
Deb has like tried to tell me, give her the benefit of the doubt, blah blah blah. Some people on Twitter.
Who did?
Deb, you know.
You know, Deb, my first lieutenant.
Oh yeah, I know Deb. That's one of the ones I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I keep trying, but you know, me and I guess we just don't click. But I love her as Jenny, and you know, the character Jenny is, you know, I love the character, you know.
Me too.
But you know, so I'm just the actress, and I don't think.
I can't reconcile her as the actress against her as the character. She's pretty much dead to me.
What? Oh, I'm so curious now. What happened? Oh, that's
She
quite
just shows her true colors all the time. She always shows her true colors.
You know, I was a little bit worried in season 1. There was a panel, and somebody in the audience was talking about how wonderful the diversity is, and everybody, you know, there was a question from the audience talking about that, and everybody's like, oh yeah, the diversity, and she goes, I love that it's a show full of diversity without it being about the diversity, and everybody clapped, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that comment, because
that was an okay comment.
The show might not be about diversity, but the diversity is very important. You know,
well,
and
that was
I don't like it being something that can or should be dismissed. You know, and it just came off as something that it could be dismissed. Like, it could be there, it could not be there. I'm like, no, it's important.
Well, I get where she's coming from with that, though.
I did at the time, but you know, it's like
that was a perfectly acceptable comment.
Yeah, it's what happened. It's what happened after that. It's what happened after that.
Season 1, it wasn't about that, though.
Not
and
necessarily.
Season 2, it became about that
because that's what I mean.
Who's black was pushed to the side. The first
right. Well, right.
It was after the fact.
It came about it when it became the absence of that.
Yes,
it became the dialing back. But when they came out of the gate, it was, you know, I'm just gonna steal Shonda Rhimes' comments or her language right now. It was a normalized view. It was what the world looks like.
Exactly. She said that.
They weren't like, hey, and they weren't expecting a cookie for it. They weren't like, hey, look at our diverse genre show. It was like, here's the show. Maybe
it was so
like
awesome.
It's pretty
and then, but it made it that much more noticeable. Yeah, it just made it that much more noticeable in season 2 when they started taking it away.
Well,
it was so blurring at that point.
The show did.
Notice the lack of it, I think.
Yeah, and I would say in season 1, I was strictly a fan of Sleepy Hollow. In season 2, I was only a fan of Nicole Bahari. and in season 3 because I could no longer like the show. I mean, the show was just terrible.
It was
So
awful. Season 3 was awful.
I could only hang on to the show because of her. So now that you've taken her away, I don't have any problem being away at all.
Yeah, like me personally, it was just, I can speak for, I guess, a few of us in here. Like, we got too attached to a character that was so much like us.
Yeah.
And then they just, basically killed us in the show,
Yeah.
And, Fox is trying to, promote these new shows like, Shots Fired. Sorry, I'm mentioning your shows, guys, but Shots Fired.
Oh, I love
and, and like, that show Pitched. Like, it's lead people of color in this.
That's totally going to get whitewashed.
And, it's like, how can you get attached to another character and then it's going to happen again, like what they did to Abbie?
Right.
Well, the one with Shots Fired has a black showrunner, so like that one probably won't, but Pitched will be whitewashed.
I haven't even seen any of these shows.
Don't get
Are they
attached
on
to
now?
Pitched. I mean, of course, try to support it if you can, because it's a black actress. But you can just see, it's not super specific. So I could see how they would make that more about overall people, like All Lives Matter.
Yeah.
It kind of starts out featuring her and then move into another direction.
Yeah, it was just like they just gave us a bunch of false hope,
Yeah. I just felt like, I don't know. I just felt like it was a big FU. This season 3 finale.
Yeah, it is.
To the fans, to
and Chrissy, also can I say too, besides when you take the Abbie element out of the whole thing, I'm sorry. And there was some great moments on the set, and I have to get going now, to be honest.
Yeah,
guys,
we're gonna end this
the
soon.
Yeah, I have to get going too.
It's 2016 second half wasn't bad, and but there was some good moments there. But my oh God! If you even take the Abbie element, which was just a colossal fuck up on its own, you still have this gigantic, disastrous writing. Holy shit! The fucking horsemen and oh my God!
It was bad. It became a cartoon. It was
a cartoon. It was awful.
Being dragged around by Abbie, the eye-rolling shrew.
Yeah.
It was just this huge devolution. It was people just who don't understand genre fiction and don't understand world building and the boundaries within which you have to operate. Yeah. I don't know. They just didn't seem to give a shit. They seemed to equate fun with slapstick.
Let me ask you guys before we end this. I'm going to end this after this, but let me ask you guys: what about season 1 for you got you hooked on it? Like, what about it? I mean, because for me, I mean, yes, I have to say that it could be stuff sort of happened, I think, for me in episode 3 when he drank the stuff, then went with her to the dreamland. I mean, then you knew.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I know, and they for some reason had her take her shirt off, which I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, I know.
Well, he had his shirt off, so I was happy.
Why?
Oh my God, that was the hottest.
It was because they had to put the scorpion in. They had to
pull your shirt up.
By the skirt. Anyway,
your belly. That's all.
But it wasn't just that. It was the apocalypse, the four horsemen apocalypse. It was about the Revolutionary War, the founding of our country. It was Ichabod Crane coming into the 21st, and it was well balanced between Abbie's story and then his story.
100%,
and it was balanced, and that was what made the season 3. I mean, then you had
wonderful. Nobody has an issue with season 1. It was great.
Yeah, the scary part.
It was legitimately an amazing season, and I truly didn't see.
Loved it.
I didn't have a preference, which is a big thing for me. I didn't have a preference between Tom Meissen or Nicole Bahari.
No.
I was simply in love with the show, and in fact, my sister begged me to watch this show. And so the first episode where he says something like, "Wait, back up, she says, back up, you're offended," and I said, "Oh my God, you didn't tell me this was a comedy. I thought it was a comedy."
Yeah.
It's like, no. And I'm like,
it certainly has humorous elements to it.
Specific moment. So
Yeah.
I loved it, and it was simply where I could just be and love this show. And then season 2 happened, I'm like, oh Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Well, the first 2 episodes of season 2 I really liked because it was This Is War,
Yeah.
where we got our
Yeah,
hug,
good.
and The Kindred, which was the second episode, which was really good. I really liked that one. But well, Michelle, what are your last thoughts about the show, season 1, and moving forward? What do you think?
Well, the first draw of the season 1 for me was Headless, because I always the Headless Horseman. I didn't know Nicole Bahari was in the pilot until after I watched the pilot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I love Nicole Bahari, so that kept me watching. I didn't start digging the chemistry between Tom and Nicole until after the Sandman episode.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's when I started kind of like, I like the chemistry.
Yeah.
And I like the flow of the story. But I think I'd say I think the second part of season 1, I think you could slowly see the storyline going down.
Yeah. Interesting.
When?
Season
If you
1?
go back to watch season 1, like right after that mansion one, and I love Grace.
Sanctuary?
Yeah,
Sanctuary?
Right after the mansion one, where Ichabod had a baby, that's when the storyline slowly goes downhill.
Oh, you think so? Oh, see, I thought it was good.
I agree with that.
Wow.
Really? Interesting.
Really derailed it.
Because it was all about Katrina.
Added this really bizarre element to it. Season 1, the huge distinction between season 1, well, certainly season 1 to season 3, but what grabs me about it is that the characters are fully adult. They are fully capable, completely actualized adult human beings. They have their own agendas, and they accept the boundaries of this wackadoodle universe that's been created for them.
Sure.
As you move through season 2, season 2 is just like the Ichabod Crane family counseling marriage therapy hour, and where his wife runs around in her underwear for 11 episodes, which parenthetically, that corset that she wore for 11 episodes was found in a box in the hospital locker.
I know, that cracked me up. That was from a stripper. It was a stripper.
What, like, scabies, ice, tips are going on on that corset that she's wearing for 11 episodes. And then in season 3, they just turned everybody into cartoons. Season 1 is interesting in that it was adult writers writing adult characters, and you have to be reasonably intelligent to appreciate the nuance of the show. There's a ton of in-jokes.
Yeah.
You know, if you had a degree in literature, even better, because half that show was for you. You finally was like, yay, I justified my expensive college degree for appreciating the show. It was great. It was a show for smart people, and it was a show for
I agree.
That's what it was. It was a show for smart people.
I agree. Well, Ashley, what are your final thoughts about Sleepy Hollow moving forward?
As far as the main thing what I loved about season 1, there was a central plot line to it. I do kind of agree with the baby thing. With things started getting way too confusing all at the same time. I wanted them to stick to one major plot line, which was the Headless Horseman, the apocalypse, them trying, to defeat, protect the end of the world kind of thing. And it all just got lost in translation with Ichabod's marriage troubles and baby troubles and all that. So that's what season 4 needs to do. A central plot line with, Ichabod or this new witness trying to stop the end of the world or stop anything that's going to come new.
I think stop the Antichrist. That's what my thought is, but...
Yeah, and I totally agree with that plot line.
The rise of the Antichrist. Well, Alicia, what are your final words, if you're still awake?
Yeah, I'm still awake.
What time is it?
It's
11,
10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock over here.
Oh,
but
sorry. This is West Coast living over here.
Well, I just got home this morning, so.
Oh my God.
But Okay, what attracted me to season one, like I'm a really big history person, so that automatically drew me in. And then I saw like promo pictures, and it had, Nicole,
Mhm.
and I'm a big Nicole Bahari fan as well. But I was like, wow, there's somebody that looks like me on TV that's a lead in a show like this. And I
Mhm.
was like, I have to watch this. Um, Going into season two, yeah, like it started getting a little bit too much Ichabodish. I
Mhm.
mean,
Crane
it was,
family drama.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. But my favorite episode, one of my favorites, was Mama. That was one of my
Oh,
favorites.
Mama was so freaking
Yeah,
good.
and I
Oh
don't
my
So
know.
god.
good. It
And it
was,
was
Yeah,
scary too. Like they really did a
mm,
great job on that. Oh my
yeah,
Yeah,
gosh. And
I love that episode.
Anjanou Ellis, I always wondered if I get a chance to ask him again, I'll ask him.
yeah. But I don't know if you guys noticed in Mama, but when Abby was, tied down to the bed or
Mhm.
chained to the bed, when those pills were coming towards her mouth.
Mhm.
I don't know if you remember in season one, they mentioned she had a drug problem
yeah.
and the fear that Nicole had in her eyes
Yeah,
when
because
those
Yes.
pills were
didn't
coming towards her mouth.
her boyfriend, they broke into a pharmacy to get
Yeah,
drugs, wasn't it? Yeah, that
yeah,
was it.
yeah. Yeah, and I was like, wow, like they could have, had a whole storyline on that,
Oh
but
yeah,
just
totally.
giving us those little holes and like it made what Nicole did like come like straight to life. Like, and that's
Yeah.
what I loved about it. Like Nicole is like a beast, when it comes
Yeah.
to like emotional scenes like that. Going into season three, well, I love the last episode of season two because Grace was in there
Yeah.
and she's like my
That was
favorite
the
person
best.
ever.
We need more
Yeah,
Grace
Yeah.
in season
Yeah.
four, man.
yeah,
If Nicole and Tom had wanted time off, which they apparently did because they were renegotiating the contracts, I propose the Franklin Dixon Adventure Hour.
Oh
oh my
god,
Yeah,
God,
that would
yeah,
be amazing.
Dixon and Ben Franklin going off on adventures of their own to battle the Illuminati or whoever.
Yeah, the
I
Illuminati, there you
pay
go.
cash money to watch hour after hour of that show.
That would be
yeah.
hilarious.
Could Daniel Boone join them? Because Daniel Boone was hot.
No,
Yes, he
and
was.
Paul
Yes, he was
Revere.
hot.
Paul Revere. Gotta get Paul Revere in there.
And Lee,
Oh
Lee
my
needs
god,
to be
they
their
did
nemesis.
the Power
I
Rangers
need
in
for
that
Lee to be
episode.
their
Oh, I
nemesis.
was so upset.
But yeah, going into season three, I don't know if anybody watched the show The 4400. I don't know if anybody's
Yeah,
seen
I
that.
haven't
I've
seen
heard good
it.
things about it.
Okay. When Isabel was like kind of like living off of her mother, like, and she eventually killed her mom. Like that's the kind of vibe I got. Like Ichabod was like kind of living off of
oh
Abby
my
to the very
gosh.
end, and then
Right.
until
Oh
it killed
my
her.
god.
Oh
I
my
want to
god.
know how she affords $1 million house in Tarrytown. Because if you look at the square footage of that house they lived in,
I
and then go on
know.
to Zillow,
I
on a
love
Exactly.
that.
agent's salary, and she's supporting another adult male.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
And was
Yes.
not
Yes.
worried about
Yeah.
going back to work.
And he gets a job in the finale. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks for
But
that. Thanks for
the
that
Right?
additional
How come he
favor.
didn't go get a job at the community
Well,
college
because
in
he
Westchester
didn't need
teaching
one. He
or
was the
whatever?
housekeeper. He was
yeah.
their
No,
housemate.
he
He
needed
needed
one.
money. She needs to pay the mortgage. God damn.
Yeah. But
I
one thing.
So
Yeah.
annoying.
One thing I really did like, I'll say this, that I really did like about season three is just that we got to see the emotional side of Abby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
she
where
smiled so
they
Oh, it
much.
was fantastic.
they
Nikki rocked.
finally, yeah,
They
Can
let her
I
be
just
human.
say, Nikki rocked those scenes though. The scenes in the catacombs and then the PTSD stuff.
Fabulous.
I mean,
Yeah,
so
she was
amazing.
amazing.
When she finally asked Ichabod for help, I mean, she was like so vulnerable
Oh, that made me
then.
cry.
I mean, yeah, I
yeah,
mean that was just so. The thing is, you understood
Look at
how hard it
Michelle.
was for her to ask for help. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and
To
it
to
was
touch on that, like before I'm gonna end it right here,
yeah,
but to touch on that, as a black woman, it is very, very hard for you to show emotion anywhere because it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
what they
they let
did,
Abby be a
they
woman.
let her, yeah, they let her,
They
yeah,
gave her a small
they gave
glimpse
her,
into her being a
not
woman.
much, but
yeah,
they let her.
Yeah.
The peak
yeah,
would have been to let her be courted. Let a guy fall in love with her and court her and take her out on a date and
yeah.
hold the door. Just let
Because we
her.
surely saw Ichabod dating
Yeah.
twice.
Oh my
Right.
god.
Yeah.
And that's what
Orsi talked about that too. Orsi tweeted about that.
what
How
did he say?
You know, I just don't even care though. They're
Oh,
gonna be
right. I
more.
mean, it's
He'll
it's over.
be.
Like,
He's
it's
gonna
done.
be.
It's,
He's
you
gonna
know.
be with the new witness, who will probably be a white woman. Let's be for
Oh
real.
no, she's gonna be ethnically ambiguous because that's
Yeah.
exotic, and that's what the
Yeah,
Middle
No,
I
East
it's
mean,
going to
right
be
now.
that means
Sophie.
she
It's
will
going to
look
be
enough.
Sophie. It's
She
going to
will
be
I
look
told you
Sophia.
it
enough
was gonna
like a
be
white
She's,
Sophie.
woman.
no, she's gonna
I
be
think
10
it's
years
gonna
younger
be
than
Sophie.
Ichabod and ethnically ambiguous. That's my
Yeah,
prediction.
No,
yeah,
I
she will
think it's
be.
gonna be. I think they're gonna do Sophie, frankly.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't
but
Based
know.
on the
that's
first
ethnically
episode of season
ambiguous.
3, it came apparent.
Oh, they're setting her up to be Abbie Lane.
Yeah, I mean,
Even
you
the
know,
audition, like the
in One
auditions for the
Life.
character, they had to use Abby's lines. She was dressed like Abby and said things like Abby and talked to Ichabod like
Who,
Abby.
Sophie?
Yeah, for the
and
audition.
the fact that she's a
Jessica.
foster is in the family tree, that's gonna play into it.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, that's so
I
gross.
knew it wasn't a coincidence.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it for our show. We've been going on for over 2 hours now, so I
Well,
think
this
we
was
should
great.
end
Are you
it.
serious?
This was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, but thank you guys.
Apparently I'm still super, super angry. So I'm
I
glad I
know.
attended.
Yes, I'm glad that you came. I'm glad you came. I didn't think you were gonna. I was thinking, oh, she probably
I didn't
won't.
think I would
Yeah,
either.
I did want to give my thoughts on why I started watching. I think I've said before on other Hollow Hangouts though, but it was
Yeah.
because of I saw the interview with Tom and Nicole and Orlando, so I watched the pilot. And then when I saw the pilot episode, it was their chemistry that sold it.
Mhm.
But the whole pilot was beautiful. It was beautifully shot from the opening with Ichabod back in the war. And when he woke up and then almost got hit by the truck, everything, it flowed so smoothly. But when I saw
Beautiful.
Nicole and Tom talking in the jail cell, that was unbelievable. I was like, these people have amazing chemistry, and I wasn't shipping them at the time.
No,
So
I know.
I knew I could
Thank
watch
you.
anything. It was amazing.
Yep. And you
And
know,
nothing
and
to do with being a
it's
shipper or not. They just blow it.
yeah.
Yep.
And you
There's
know,
no shipper, no non-shipper. I don't give a shit what you thought, whether it should be together or not be together.
it was just the
reality is
chemistry.
it's about the story.
It was
And
just
whether there was, bad rumors. I hear all this shit, trying to put out their vague rumors. It doesn't matter.
It
Be
doesn't
good
matter.
writers. Be
It
better.
matters what you wrote,
Be
and
better.
whatever was going on behind the scenes, it obviously it didn't affect Tom and Nicole's acting because no matter what
you.
part
they're
Right,
professionals.
Be better.
they were very
Thank
professional
you.
all the way through. I mean, her acting was
Fabulous.
stellar. For an actress who wanted to lead
Excellent.
in season 3, she was
God, I
excellent.
never got that. I never got an inkling
I
of that.
know.
She was the lead.
Early on, I felt like you could tell there were definitely a few episodes where you could tell she would rather have been anywhere but on that set.
Really?
Yeah.
I never got that.
Honestly,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would have been anywhere
I never
in got
front of
that.
my
She
TV
looks
set.
There were a couple
Everything.
of moments where I was rocked back. I was like, oh.
Yeah, there were some episodes where she seemed annoyed at times, and I kind of took that. I thought it was acting because Ichabod had been gone for 9 months and then just shows back up.
Yeah, I don't know, but they never.
Whatever it was, it played.
That path.
It played
It was
well
just
with
like
what
they-
was
they
going
made her
on.
a shrew. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, that was also the writing. They made her a grump and a shrew, and she rolled her eyes and she pursed her lips and you dragged them around. I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, ugh, it was one note. They
Yeah,
wrote
I'm in the middle of working and you just show up after not calling me for 9 months, and now I've
Yeah,
got to go.
I know. That was the other thing.
You know,
They never hashed it out. Well, and the other thing I want to say really quickly is I felt like, at the end when she was like, she said, well, I made peace with it. She didn't really have any closure with Danny. She didn't have any closure with her father. She barely said anything to Jenny. I mean, how are you happy and you have closure? You're okay with it when you didn't have closure for anything.
Well, that was just stellar writing.
Bad writing. That's how.
I know.
That was stellar writing.
Remember I said that everything that played out in her life was just a dream. They just gave her that just so that she felt like she, what could have been.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep thinking she's gonna come back, Christine. I know that you don't think so.
No, I don't want her.
I'm just gonna say a very quick
I
goodbye,
want her to be out
guys.
there living her
All right.
life and doing what she
Bye,
wants.
Christine.
Bye, Kristen. We're gonna.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye, guys.
I'm bidding good night too.
Bye. I'll talk
Bye,
to you
Michelle.
later.
Bye.
Bye, Michelle.
Bye. All right, we're going to end it anyway. So thanks for joining us, everybody. And I think that we've said quite a bit tonight.
We have.
Again.
This is a
And
great venting session.
and I think what we'll do is we'll do maybe another one, over the summer or something. I think I want to do a season 1 rewatch for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm out on that. I don't know how I feel about rewatching this foolishness.
Season 1 was the best. I love the pilot anyway.
I mean, for me, it's best for, I don't really know why I joined this hangout tonight, but for the most part, I mean, it's about, I am about to be completely done with all aspects of this show. Like, if I follow you on Twitter and everything, great. You follow me, also great. If I say stuff that offends you, mute, block, whatevs. But I mean, I'm gonna have to be out on,
Just block me, whatever.
I mean, it's been done. I've had people block me that I don't follow, and they don't follow me. So I don't even understand how that really works. It's
I don't get
funny.
it. I've never.
Do what you gotta do.
I know exactly.
Chrissy, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Rhonda.
Oh, Rhonda, hi.
Unbelievable.
You just missed. We're just ending it.
Hours. No, I'm sorry. I heard quite a bit
know.
of it.
We're just ending it right now.
I know. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. Well,
there'll be others.
Messed up.
There'll be others. Why don't you just tell us, I don't know, what you think about. Well, you did. You're the one that wrote that wonderful article, right?
Well, I didn't write it. I forwarded it.
Okay.
And
well, what are your?
That's what I'm sorry.
Why don't I just ask you, what are your thoughts about Sleepy Hollow's renewal?
My initial thought was I was disappointed. I would have been very happy that it just died a death that it deserved, because I felt betrayed, I felt let down, I felt everything that everybody said.
Yeah.
And then when I started reading tweets from people who had been disappointed and horrified previously and say, well, I think I'll give it a chance, then I really lost my cookies.
You lost your cookies. Well, yeah, no, I mean, okay, let me ask you this. What about moving forward to season 4? Is it just because Nicole isn't going to be on the show? It's going to be way different. It's not going to be the same ever. And no matter who they get, they're not going to fill Nikki's shoes. I mean, I feel sorry for whoever they try to get. I honestly, it's going to be a clusterfuck. But anyway, excuse my language. I just feel like I just don't understand how that could possibly work in this whole Eternal Soul crap. I don't know. But having said that, what about it makes you so upset about maybe thinking about a season 4?
Number one, I feel great that they deviated from all of the things that they told us were canon in the beginning, about the witnesses, about it being 7 tribulations, them being together, going through all this to avert fears. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen. And they deviated from so many things that they set up in season 1. They retconned everything, basically.
They did. It was a lazy and sexist retcon.
Of course.
Well,
Back into the corner.
Well, the bottom line is that it's supposed to be about the apocalypse. I mean, I guess now the school of thought for the mythology is that, okay, there's different cultures and it had different versions of the apocalypse, and the Sumerian / Egyptian / whatever was the Pandoran, the hidden one, and the first 2 seasons was Moloch and the Christian Judeo apocalypse with the 4 horsemen, and now I'm guessing, I don't even know how they're gonna. In the Revelations, I think the 3rd tribulation is Antichrist, so it would make sense at that. But you're minus a witness, no matter And no matter who you get in there, I just don't see it working. I'm there for the. I mean, I'm going to watch it, but I just don't understand how they're going to possibly get it to where they can. It'll mesh with season 1 and the pilot and what was already
Well,
established.
they don't need that to happen. They don't need that to happen. They said they wanted Tom Meissen to central a series, and that's what they're gonna get. They don't even need another witness. It just needs to be Meissen's
Well,
power.
maybe they shouldn't even. Maybe he shouldn't even be a witness now. I mean,
Maybe
maybe
They've reinvented the show for the 3rd time in 4 years. Now he's the head of a shadow government agency that George Washington set up.
Well,
200 years ago. Just kidding. That whole last.
No, I know. Well, no, I think he's the head of the Freemasons. That's what I think, because George Washington was part of the Freemasons, and I think that they.
I would say don't read too much
God,
into.
I hope not. Now we're involving Dan Brown. Ugh.
I
know. Demons Part 3.
I don't know. I'm just.
But you asked me what I think. What I think is that there's no way to do this without Abbie Mills. And there's no way to do it even with the recast Abbie Mills. We appreciated Tom and Nicole together and what they brought to it.
Right.
That's now gone. My only hope of watching the show is if they bring her back as Abbie Mills, and I know that that's not going to happen.
They won't.
That won't happen.
They won't. I mean, that quote from Campbell in any hope that she would come back, even as a guest star. I mean, that was unequivocal. It wasn't Abbie Mills isn't coming back. It was Nicole Bahari isn't coming back. That was the subtext of that release.
Yeah.
Nicole Bahari is not coming back.
Right.
Full stop.
Which is just hard. Me and my Pollyanna, I still am in hopes that by some miracle, maybe at the very.
I mean,
if it's a series finale, though, if there's a series finale, there's no other way to end it than with her
Absolutely.
on the show.
The way to end it is you end it in a really shitty, badly written season finale, just the way this last one was written.
Well,
that's what I want.
And they're gonna hey, we're on at 9 o'clock on a Friday after MasterChef Junior.
I know, I'm not liking that either.
That's so funny to me. That is so funny to me, and it's pushed to mid-season.
Mid-season after a bunch of 10-year-olds cooking chicken fingers in front of Gordon Ramsay or whatever.
I mean,
honest to God, I would be embarrassed if I was working on that show. I would be embarrassed. I'd be like, oh shit, this is what my life is about. This is terrible.
I don't understand why they just don't move it back to right after Gotham, because we all liked it. I loved the fact that it was
because there's nothing left that people want to see, and Gotham is going to be a lead-in to their new shows that
that's a prime spot.
Make money. I mean, this is just network finances here.
Yeah,
but we know that so what happened was the only reason why Sleepy Hollow was renewed is because American Idol ended. And
No. It was renewed because they got this backlash, and they cannot let it look like there
was an element of spite.
Yeah,
there was definitely spite, but all of a sudden they had 3 hours in their schedule that they needed to pull shows.
Because those ratings would have gotten that show, any show, canceled. But they said, oh, well, those people don't think that we're gonna. No, that was out of complete spite and in disregard for the backlash. There was no other reason for that to be renewed.
I want to know.
They run a network with that kind of an attitude. They're going to lose money no matter what because
they will. This is just business. Somebody needs to go back to advertising.
They're going to end up paying people to watch that. They'll be paying their advertising.
This is really, really poor business. This is just basic profit and loss. I mean, somebody does not know how to read a P&L.
No, they do. They do. They just couldn't let people of color control their narrative. And that's exactly what it was.
Well, I don't even think it's people of color. I think it's the fans across the board. The fans.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
That's also ultimately view of why they moved it to Thursday was because the fact that this even dawned on me, I don't even know what this says about my character, but I think they were trying to get rid of the black woman demographic.
I said that months ago.
Against Shonda.
By putting it up against
TV on Thursdays, and they watch Shonda. We're going to put it up against Shondaland so that we can get rid of that demographic and pull on the middle-aged white lady demographic.
Yeah.
Right here.
What? Yeah. No, I said that
I've
months
never
ago.
heard that.
I said they don't want us as their fandom.
It's so gross, but it was so obvious when I saw that happen. I'm like, no, there's no way that this was an accident. You don't put anything up against Shondaland.
And not just putting it up against Shondaland, but putting it up against Scandal.
Against Scandal.
Yeah.
Against
Scandal specifically. Yeah. I totally agree. I think that was a deliberate move.
But ultimately,
it's not that they wanted to kill their show. They wanted to get rid of all of us Abbie shippers.
They wanted to get rid of
And all the they wanted to get rid of the women of color fandom, the loud that didn't like it.
Shonda, and they wanted middle-aged white ladies like me, who they really misjudged that audience. To be like, I watch Bones, and therefore I'm going to watch this, and hope that Ichabod ends up with some white lady, just like it did on Bones, just like, the Bones thing. And they avoided that backfire. Holy shit.
Well, the funny thing is, not only did it backfire, they thought that they did the right thing when 98% of critics who wrote for that show were like, what the entire fuck happened?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so what I heard was a chunk of the writer, season 2, the scripts in season 2 are really interesting. There's a couple of scripts where you can really feel that there was tension in the writer's room because they have written it into the script that Abbie doesn't like Katrina, thinks she's completely a useless addition to the crew.
Well, she was.
Refers to her as this, struggle witch that we all used on Twitter, but she kind of says that. And you could see that there was this fight happening in the writer's room between the writers and the showrunners who were saying, the writers were like, no, this is the story. And the showrunner was like, no, it's the Katrina story. And there was a fight happening, and then they split, and a lot of them followed Robert Orsi over to Limitless, apparently. And all of those original
which also down
writing for Limitless, and they hired a bunch of people. I think Joe Webb is very good.
I love Joe. Joe Webb, Heather Rainier was fab. I loved Heather Rainier.
Well, those are the only 2 episodes in season 3 that I liked. Were the Tooth Fairy episode, mostly because it was directed by Guillermo Navarro, who is Guillermo del Toro's cinematographer.
Right.
That was the one with the monster. And the other one was Joe Webb's, which was the Berserker. I didn't like the art direction on that.
Art of War.
He was the only person who, at least up until that point, wrote both Abbie and Ichabod as adults.
Yes.
He did not have any of the buffoonery, none of the cartoonishness, none of the ranty bullshit. He wrote them as grown-ups, and it was the only person in the entire season who did that. Everybody else left. Everybody else who had that sensibility of who these 2 people are and this universe in which they live, gone. Yeah. And it is not coming back.
I know you guys have been talking forever. I just wanted to say one thing. One thing that I noticed about this season, and that I think that was really apparent, is that the writers tried their best to really straddle the fence. They tried to give the Abbie shippers little pearls and nuggets to keep them appeased, to draw them in, to make sure that we were still on board with that, and to also appease the people who didn't want that at all. So they would say things, they would write things verbatim like, oh, clearly the witnesses love each other.
Right. Or, I think that's really cynical, though. I think that was deeply cynical, co-opting fan-created content and a fan-created concept, and fans created the Abbie hashtag, and using it as a marketing tool. They positioned themselves as being one of us, I think, and then pulled the rug out. The same thing happened with 100. The same thing happened with Shameless. Yes. They really do not understand that fan engagement and doing that comes at a price, in that we have immediate access to them and we have immediate feedback, and we call them on their bullshit, and they don't seem to like it. They get really defensive and really pissy about it. I'm like, well, don't do that. Your option is to not pull that stunt. Don't take our content and use it against us.
Exactly. Well, and 2, I mean, ultimately, I think that whoever's running the Sleepy Hollow, the social media on Facebook and Twitter, they just don't have a clue. I don't think it's
no, they don't. They're very young. They're very
young. They need somebody in there that can intelligently converse with the fans and know what is the right thing to do and what not. Like, I don't even think they think about it. They're just tweeting stuff out, and it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry, just because you're tweeting out some pictures and stuff, that doesn't, I mean, you know, Twitter is about interaction, but it's intelligent interaction with where the network is involved, when the network is involved, because they are an arm of Sleepy Hollow, they are an arm of Fox, and such represent it. And so I feel like whoever's in charge over there needs to, like, they need either lessons, or they need to, like, maybe watch other Twitters and see how they, I don't know what it is, but before season 4 starts, I mean, the bottom line is they're going to have to market this thing just like the pilot, because otherwise nobody's going to watch. I mean, you know, nobody's going to know about it. Nobody's going to, you know it's coming in this mid-season, as a mid-season filler, which totally sucks.
Yeah.
You
What is
know,
the
I
point
love
of
it.
keep
I love
renewing
it.
the
I'm sorry. I have to go, ladies. It's been
Yeah,
real.
we're-
I have to
all
run
right.
down. Almost
Thank
midnight,
you.
so take it
Bye,
easy.
Kay, thanks. Yeah, we're going to end this because I'm getting tired too, but
I love that it's a mid-season replacement because they're treating it like they've treated all the fans. It's
yeah.
hilarious. I
As the side note,
can only find comedy in every bit of this, and I can't wait to watch it crash and burn.
oh,
It's like a
Chrissy,
ball that
I told you months ago, Chrissy, I said, how do they want this to end? Do they really want this to be their legacy? Right? I don't remember. You remember we talked about this a couple months ago, and I said, you know, because you see how shows end. I said, do they really want to go out like this? You know, and we were talking about potential ways that they could blow it. Or they could really make it epic. And, you know, everybody's like, oh, they're going to make it epic. I'm like, you know, if they prefer to be petty, then they won't make it epic, and they will tank their own show. And, you know, people don't believe that they would actually want to do that. And then look what happened. That's exactly what ended up unfolding. And it's almost unbelievable that they would want that to happen. But it's not like they didn't know.
right.
There's no way that they
Well,
couldn't,
that's the thing.
because the ratings have been proving it, and we've been on Twitter. You know, the fans are on Twitter, and if there were so many things that they could have done to have made this epic, even with Abbie leaving, you know, it still could have been epic if they chose not to do it, because they chose instead to be petty about it and just kill her off in a way that was incredibly disrespectful.
Yeah.
And so this is the backlash, and this is what they're left with. And I don't think that there's any salvaging it, short of at minimum building up to an actual season 4 finale where you're going to have Abbie and Ichabod kind of riding off into sunset. And I don't even know that they could get her back for a finale.
I know they would have to beg. They're going to have to beg her, or pay her a lot of money. I say, Fox, throw whatever money you need to on her, because if this is the finale, the final, it's just going to be. It's going to be just like the season 3 finale. It's just going to seem like there's not going to be any kind of crescendo. It's going to be lame.
It's gonna be like almost like going down in history as a one of the greatest show that totally screwed
up. I know. It makes me sad.
It's very sad.
I mean, it's fine. I don't know why people. There are certain subset of fans that are okay watching because Tom Myson's blue eyes, his fingers, whatever.
Well,
and
I love Tom Myson.
But if you're expecting a great story, I just don't. You haven't gotten a great story, with the exception of season 1.
Yeah.
I don't know why all of a sudden season 4 will improve.
The reason that I feel like season 4 will improve is because Roberto Orci and Len Wiseman are involved. Had they not been involved, then I would agree 100%. They were the ones. They were there for the very first season. That was amazing. I think that they have a handle on what it is, what the root of the show was from season 1, what it was supposed to be, and I think that they will come up with, it was their, apparently according to Roberto, it was their story that they pitched to Fox, which is why I feel hopeful about it, and I feel like, you know, even as mad as I am about everything that's gone on, I mean, I'm still going to watch. I'd be anxious to see what they come up with. I honestly, like I said, I would prefer that they don't even bother finding the second witness until the very end, and boom, it's Abbie, and they can either from there they can, either end the show or whatever, but we'll know that they'll run off together. That'd be it. I mean, I'd rather that than try and whoever they're going to get, I do feel sorry for, because I don't think that I just can't imagine another actress in the role of a quote witness. And I mean, if Sophie, I mean, I liked Sophie. I think that Jessica Camacho really fit into the cast well and seamlessly. And it's going to be ridiculous if, okay, she's the witness now. I mean, I just don't see it. And I don't understand this whole, I mean, they're really going to have to take the time to explain this Eternal Soul stuff. They can't just come in and have all action and they're going to have to take the time to actually explain things. And I would rather they just have Ichabod looking for Abbie the entire season, and the very end he finds her and that's it. And that's how I would prefer it than trying to break in somebody else. I just don't see that.
But how is Abbie's eternal soul any different than anybody else's eternal soul? Aren't all souls eternal?
No. The witnesses are eternal, which means they sort of the phoenix, the phoenix rises again. They're sort of like that. Most of us just have a regular soul, but theirs is an eternal soul, and which keeps regenerating to whatever.
Okay, I believe you when you say that, but then why did they preserve Ichabod? Why wasn't his soul eternal and his soul could come back?
It's another plot hole.
It's another plot hole. Exactly.
They said he was the only Crane left.
Well, that's the other thing. We don't even know. There could be other. What about Crane's family? We don't know anything about his mother. We don't know about anything.
They said like season 3. They said he was the only person left of his line or whatever. So that's why I guess they wanted him alive. But if his soul is eternal, why didn't he just jump in the box? He would have came back.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. So plot holes.
Yeah.
But they just needed a reason, and they just wanted to get rid of the actress and the character, and they just did it in the worst possible way instead of actually being creative and trying to find a way to do this that wouldn't offend 90% of their fan base.
Right. Exactly. And now we're all fractured, and it's sad. I mean,
we're all pretty. I mean, I've turned into someone that I thought I would never turn into, and it's pretty bad. It's also funny, but it's also pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I definitely changed for the best because of Sleepy Hollow, but also it made me change for the worse, and it made me see things in the world like it really is. People will complain and say, well, this is just a TV show, it's not real life. Well, this is real life for most of us black people who have to live through this and see this every day. So it's hard for people and annoying for you to say, oh, well, this is just a TV show. Imagine how you would be if you focused your attentions on something real. Art imitates life. This is real life. So people who are upset about that or who have a problem with people being negative, they really do need to stand down about it. Like, really just stand down. You do what you're going to do. I mean, I hate to keep repeating this, but I want for everyone who will watch this, who want to say, oh, well, just be nice about it. Do this, do that. No, you do what you want to do and stand down on what I'm going to do. That's it.
Right.
That's my only advice to everyone who thinks that we should just be nice and positive about it. It's not going to happen, and it shouldn't happen. I'm a black woman. My thoughts need to be heard however I see fit.
Yeah, someone put on Twitter that they said that what happened with Abbie, they said that's how they feel in their everyday life. And I mean, that made me feel so sad.
I know.
And they're just like, well, they just put that out there. That's how I feel in my everyday life. Like, my life is just, to help, moving everybody else forward, and they're just walking all over me. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
that's the point. That's the point. That's what I'm saying. So for people, and I know I hate when people say, oh, you people this and you people that, but as much as you can support me as a white person, that's great, but you will never understand what this is about. So, I mean, I just don't feel like I need to shield my emotions just because you may feel like, oh, we should be nice. No.
I don't think you should shield.
Well, no, I'm just saying. Not just silly for you, but I want you to understand that we don't need to be particularly nice about it. As long as we're not attacking you and anybody else, that's fine. But it's not going to be nice.
That's my point.
This kind of thing does not happen because we're nice.
That's what I'm talking about, though. I'm not talking about you. Yeah, you have your feeling. You can do whatever you want. My plea is just not to attack people. That's where I have an issue. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. Everybody, feels we all come from different, different walks of life. Things that have happened in our lives affect how we perceive things, and I get that. I mean, we're all different. I mean, obviously. And I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem with the attacks. I mean, you're just going to go on and troll my Twitter line to then jump on me and say that
I'm going to be honest.
To say I'm a racist because I'm going to watch season 4.
That
Bullshit
is
on
an
that.
attack. That is an attack. But I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I did used to troll people's timelines just to disagree with them, just because I needed to vent. And if I disagree with you, I need to vent. Then you gotta, as long as I'm not attacking you, it's fine. But people calling you a racist is one thing. But I'm just saying, it's not gonna go. We're not gonna just say, we don't have to just be polite about it. And if I disagree with you, so what? You can't handle disagreement?
Right. Well, if you can't, then you shouldn't be on Twitter. That's what I say.
You should not be.
You have to hashtag.
You surely should not be on Twitter.
Well, we've hashed it out a number.
Leave Twitter.
I know, right? We've hashed it out a number of times. That's for sure.
We have.
but
we have, and you've said some hilarious things to me that I thought were really pretty ballsy. So I said, you know what? I'll take it. But that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like I have to just say, oh, well, she, disagreed with me. So what? You can't handle a black woman disagreeing with you, then you do need to be on Twitter. Exactly. Twitter is not the place for all agreeing people.
That's for sure. It's a jungle out there, Twitter jungle.
Right. And what I will say is, for the people who don't feel like they, if you don't feel like, if you feel like your feelings are so sensitive or whatever, then you need to understand what it's like for black people. We don't get to have those same sensitive feelings.
Right.
And, calm down. I can't wait for people to view this. Calm down and have a seat.
Calm down, have a seat, pick up some popcorn.
All the way over there in the corner. For those who feel like, and what I really extremely dislike is the tone police. Well, you don't have to be rude about it. There are quite a few people who are on the tone police. Guess what? Have a seat. All the way in the corner.
With a dunce hat on.
I mean, there have been several people, I just can't handle the negative comments. Right now, I have to just, block you and whatever.
What I do is, if it's negative, I just ignore it and go on. I mean, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you could go crazy. I mean, I was just so grateful that I was gone for 2 weeks and had surgery and stuff, so I didn't think about any of it until like a couple of weeks ago, and so I'm a little bit behind everybody else, but it was actually nice that I had that reprieve, because I think I would have just been a basket case right afterward, so.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're doing better, Chrissy, but I think that it's important to realize that everybody's feelings need to be validated. And when people tell me that my feelings are not true or are not important, that pisses me off.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So we can all express our feelings. Nobody needs to tell me you don't need to feel that way or you shouldn't feel that way. I feel it. It's there. Deal with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that has nothing to do with an attack. That just means that I don't like for people telling me that what I'm sensing, what I'm feeling, is not that it's not important, but it's invalid.
It's invalid. That's what it is.
And I don't even block anyone. I don't block anyone because I find when people's feelings are so sensitive and fragile, I am super entertained by that. You won't get a block out of me. I'm going to entertain whatever foolishness you want to put out there.
Yeah, I only blocked one person. I muted somebody for a little while after the Denabi kiss, but I unmuted her later.
That was hilarious.
I just needed a moment. The only person I blocked that racist lady Heather, because she was just blowing up my mentions with her crazy racist race baiting.
Oh yeah,
I didn't hear that. Who is it?
I go onto my Twitter. It's like 100 replies of her trying to bait me on to get me, to get me on her side or something. I don't know. I'm like, girl, go away. So I ended up eventually, at first I was reading them because I thought it was, kind of funny. And she's like, well, if you want to see if you want to see Ichabod and Abbie, just get a black and white doll and stuff like that.
Oh my God! What?
Yeah, she's
Holy
crazy. So
crap.
eventually I had to block her. It's just my Twitter mentions were just crazy.
That's horrible. Oh my goodness. You gotta worry. Well, okay, so on that note, I think we'll end it finally. But thanks for joining us. Thanks.
you.
I'm glad that you finally got on, Rhonda.
I know.
Next time, we'll do it again, but maybe in a couple months or something. We'll
In the
see.
summer, I'll be happy to. Thank you.
All right, so this is Chrissy for Hollow Hangout, and we're signing off. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Sweet sleepy dreaming. Or not. I just had to say that.
Bye-bye.